Me? No, no time soon, brother.
Trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it was just awful.
I've turned chicken salad into chicken shit. I will continue to do so.
Making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people does, that's all there is to it. Put a square peg in a round hole, just never seems to fit. And you
This is Bianca Belair.
Hey, this is Kevin Owens.
Hey, it's Seth freaking Rollins.
It is the man, Becky Lynch. It's Rhea Ripley here, and you're listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Hello and welcome to Wrestle Radio Australia. Welcome to Making Chicken Salad. We're the show that covers everything going on around the world of wrestling. My name is Lachlan Albert, and I'm joined by, first of all, the man proudly repping the blue, Todd Eastman. Todd, how you doing, mate?
Mate, I'm doing great. What are you shaking your head for, Jamie? You're one of us.
Am I?
Great question.
That wouldn't surprise me, actually.
We're also joined by a man who I think is wearing a maroon jumper under there. It's Jeff Setti. Good to see you, Jeff.
Wrapping the show we're reviewing tonight, MCW. Thank you very much.
That's right, a beautiful maroon MCW. And we're also joined, because we all know that's MCW's colors, we're joined by the man who may not be one of you. Ooh, hailing from New South Wales, it's Jamie Apps. Jamie, always good to see you, mate.
Thank you. Yes, hailing from New South Wales, not a New South Wales supporter.
There you go. Hey, I'm neutral. I'm neutral because I don't care. Jeff's already got a fan in the chat saying that they were the one in the yellow beanie speaking at MCW, I assume, and the same person is immediately trying to dump Jamie out of the chat and get Peggy online.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen at this hour of the morning.
What time do we have to adjust Making Chicken Salad to get Peggy as part of the pod?
Probably about an hour or two from now, and then I think she might still hate you.
Well, she already hates.
She wouldn't
dogs,
hate
so that's a
Lachlan.
start.
She would just hate.
She wouldn't hate Lachlan, just me. And that's cool. I'm
Who
fine with
would
it.
hate Lachlan?
Hey,
I got off scot-free. Look, it's been a huge week of wrestling from pillar to post, whether it's talking about Saturday night's main event in WWE or Double or Nothing over in AEW or the massive range of shows that have happened in Australia over the past weekend. Like, it doesn't stop. There's things going on all over the show, and trying to keep up with it all is impossible. Like, Jamie, how are you doing keeping up with the best of the Super Juniors at the moment?
I'm about 2 days behind.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I just don't know.
4 shows to watch.
Jeff's got 4 to go. I'm just trying to keep up with results. If I can keep up with results, I'm happy. Shows, forget about it. I'm doing my best, but man. Yeah, like I just don't know. It's always a question almost of where to start because there's so much that we could talk about, right?
Indeed.
Too much.
Too much.
Packed
Too
weekend.
much.
Packed weekend.
Let's start with some unfortunate news coming out of the ACT. The Slam Board of Directors have announced that the monarch of the mat, King Vance, has been medically retired from in-ring competition effective immediately. He sustained an injury in July 2025 in a match against Luke Watts. It was further aggravated in a no DQ tag team match at the most recent Slam event. Medical specialists have advised that continuing to compete places King Vance at a significant long-term risk. So after extensive consultation with doctors, the difficult decision has been made that King Vance must retire from in-ring competition. He'll be cleared to accompany Sir Matthew Hayter II to ringside on June 13th. But you never... June 3rd? Apologies. Oh,
No,
sorry.
Matthew
Hayter
Hayter.
No,
III.
it's the 13th.
Yeah, if the show's on the 13th, Jeff was correcting me about him being Matthew Hayter III. My apologies. My apologies to Sir
You
Matthew
don't want to
Hayter.
piss off. Thank you.
Sir Matthew.
Yeah, that's what I need is more people pissed off at me.
More-
at MCW, right?
No, you can get
I
along with
say
everybody,
knowing what
don't worry.
segment's coming up tonight. Oh, cool. But no, this is really quite upsetting news. King Vance was someone who, whenever we watched Slam, was really enjoyable, really deep into that character, which I think Slam is really good about making those characters enjoyable. And Vance was kind of a pillar of that, as far as I'm concerned. So,
Do you know what the funny thing is too? Is like I messaged some people in Slam, just going, "Look, is this a shoot or is it a work? Because like it's wrestling, I don't know." And the person I talked to was just like, "I legitimately do not know." So, yeah, and this person is fairly close to the situation.
I think we kind of have to take it on surface
Yeah.
level that it is legit. This isn't a Brock Lesnar scenario. Unfortunately, I found King Vance and Sir Matthew Hayter as a team are so entertaining and so. The third, thank you, Lachlan. That's a good way to test the lag. It's not too bad. It's really, really sad that King Vance is retiring from the looks of things.
yeah.
At least
so,
he's not like doesn't have to fully go away. Like he's going to still be around
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a
you can
manager
still,
role,
like-
so he can still stay involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's always sad when it's out of people's hands when they're able to, still be wrestling. But I think it's always better to have made the decision to keep yourself safe because wrestling is not the only thing in life. So big shout out to King Vance and hope that he's doing well. I know, shocking things.
What?
There's
Wrestling
other
is
things.
live! But we are going to
Other
talk
things?
about a show that happened and went online very quickly. I am so impressed at the production of this being online for a show that was on Saturday night to be online on Monday is absolutely unreal. And
It's quicker
not
than
only
even
that-
they expected.
Yeah, because
they expected
and then it was
Tuesday.
up Monday.
Yeah.
My goodness. And not only that, but it was free on YouTube on top of everything else. Yeah, I knew you'd like that one, Todd. It's MCW High Stakes that we're talking about. Melbourne City Wrestling are just at the absolute pinnacle of Australian wrestling at the moment, and High Stakes 2026 was no exception. The lead in to Ballroom Brawl, which is maybe the biggest event of the Australian wrestling calendar at the moment. And the high stakes gimmick of having the big wheel spun for just about every match to decide some element of a stipulation really makes it unpredictable, crazy fun. And it kicked off with a one-on-one match, Nate Hunter, Lucas Fantasia, and the big wheel decided that the loser would enter at number 1 in the Ballroom Brawl. This one had Nate Hunter managing to come out on top of Lucas Fantasia, which I think is a perfect choice because it puts a solid babyface in the number 1 spot in the Ballroom Brawl. Lucas gets a whole lot of support from the crowd for being in that underdog position. At the same time, Nate Hunter gets a win over someone significant in MCW by cheating, locking himself in as a bit of a shit heel. I think that was perfect. The match came in at almost exactly 5 minutes, so the pace was really good here. I'll pass to Jeff. What did you think of this opening contest with Nate Hunter defeating Lucas Fantasia?
Oh, this was fun. Nate is really, really good at getting so much heat from that audience. They just detest him, and it's wonderful to see. He does great work making a match his match. And by that I mean Fantasia was a great foil, that like they were good foils for each other. But specifically Nate just slowing everything down by locking in a headlock and just keeping that headlock in. That older school style that makes him a great heel at the moment. And he's doing such good work. And it's wonderful to see. You know, I think MCW are starting to kind of go, yeah, we've got something a bit special with Nate, and specifically with Nate and his relationship with the audience and his working the crowd. It was such a great match to watch. I took someone who's not that familiar with wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Jamie, what did you think of this opener between Nate Hunter and Lucas Fantasia?
Yeah, I thought this was a solid little match. I maybe wouldn't have had it as an opener because of the way Nate works, where he's not doing anything flashy or fun or exciting because he wants you to hate him. And he's just doing the real, like Jeff said, the headlocks, the real slow, plodding stuff that annoys people. And it's like maybe not the greatest start to get people fired up for a show, but it got them hating Nate. So it worked for him. I don't know if it worked for the show as a whole.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Todd, what did you think of this as the opener, Nate Hunter and Lucas Fantasia?
I kind of disagree because, like, if you're going to have a heel, like, win, you might as well have a heel win that's like Nate, who will engage with the crowd, who will keep them, like, get them making noise to start. Like, the babyface in Lucas is going to get them to make noise, and so is Nate in a different way. So you're instantly, like, heating the crowd up with, like, going, it's okay to make noise because this is what we do, kind of a deal. I think Nate's great. It's such a good worker, and, like, it's nothing new to people that have been listening or watching the show for long enough. Know that when we review Mayhem, like, I'm a big fan of Nate Hunter. So it's really good to see him getting this chance at MCW and, like, getting a win streak now. Like, this is 2 shows in a row now. He's got the dub. So really good to see them, like, introducing this guy like this.
Yeah, he's definitely someone who I can see climbing the card in MCW fairly quickly. MCW can often be a card that's very top-heavy with a lot of established stars. So having somebody who's fairly new to the MCW roster, but already has such a, I'm going to say, like, responsive crowd reaction is really good. I think it's excellent stuff. Jeff, did you have something to add, mate?
Yeah, I just had one. I had one more quick thing to add. That is, I don't know if this is even working. I have one more quick thing to add, and that is it's not inconceivable that Brooksy would lose the IC title to someone like Nate Hunter. Like, just that he's there and a match against Brooksy will be fantastic and they can write the story. It's not difficult.
Yeah, there's such a big upside on Nate Hunter. As Michael from Moonsault Press says, cool to see Nate get a chance in MCW. He is so easy to hate. And CJ Bull agrees, Nate Hunter is absolutely amazing. He definitely knows how to work the crowd. So big props to him. Obviously, we think really highly of Fantasia as well. Like, that's no surprise. It's like the reason that a lot of the focus here is on Hunter is because Fantasia is so consistent in what he does that you kind of go, of course he was good, because it was Lucas Fantasia at the Thornbury. Like, of course it was good. So I think that really speaks to his where he is as a performer. Following this, we had I'm just going to have a quick complaint about the wheel before we go on. And I liked the wheel coming up on the screen. It did not spin for nearly long enough. If you're spinning that wheel, it needs to spin for 3 seconds. It didn't spin for 3. It was like, result. Make the wheel spin, guys. Like,
and it was so obvious that it was like predetermined, because it didn't like slow down and like make it give you the impression that it was random. It was just like, spin, done. This is what it is.
It stopped on the thing that it is. And that's always going to be what happens, but it just took away some of the suspense of the wheel there, I think, which could be more fun. But, you know, look, it was a wheel that worked consistently through the night. And sometimes that's all you've got to ask for, right? We can aim higher, but it spun every time, so that's a win. The second match was a one-on-one with Stevie Philippe and Jarvis, which I think is a really good matchup. We've talked before about the Philippes being really capable in the ring, but not quite having the personality to get the crowd fired up around it. And Jarvis being so connected to the crowd kind of covers for that aspect of the Philippe act. And, you know, Jarvis always benefits from having that high level of in-ring because he's really good, but the thing that he's best at is connecting with the crowd. So to be up against someone who is best at the in-ring, I think was a really good matchup. As soon as the result came up that the loser was out of the ballroom brawl, it felt like it had to go Jarvis's way. I think that this match was probably going to go Jarvis's way either way. But the idea that Stevie Philippe would be in the ballroom brawl and Jarvis would not, and we would see a babyface lose 2 ballroom brawl stipulations in a row, just felt pretty inconceivable. I don't necessarily think that's a terrible thing, but it is, as soon as that spin happened, I went, okay, Jarvis win confirmed. But I liked this match a lot, and I think it was an interesting stipulation. Jamie, what did you think of Stevie Philippe and Jarvis going one-on-one?
Yeah, this kind of flowed on from what I said before. Like, I mentioned I didn't think the Nate Hunter thing was great for the start, but then when Jarvis came out, you get that really stark contrast between the guy that everyone wants to hate and then the guy that everyone absolutely adores on his entrance. So the crowd really fired up for that, got the crowd amped. And Jarvis is getting better every time he goes out there. He just seems to have more confidence every single time, which it's Jarvis. It's like, I don't know how that guy could get any more confident. And but the match had great energy, and I thought they did a really good job of getting us to that point that, like you said, Lachlan, felt inevitable as soon as we saw the stipulation.
Yeah, I'm going to ask Jeff, is the feeling for Jarvis as electric in the room as it seems in the recording?
It's freaking... It's Delta level. It's Delta level now. He's taken the mantle from his former adversary in pure volume. It is absolutely insane. He props up on that balcony and there are literally people going ape shit. I had a lovely, slightly older couple next to me who'd clearly come to see Jarvis, because the moment he popped up there, they were going nuts. They were going absolutely nuts. But what a lovely match! Stevie Philippe is so solid. Stevie Philippe is so solid in ring, and Jarvis is Jarvis. Like right now in MCW, he's untouchable.
Yeah, Michael from Moonsault Press mentions they loved Jarvis on Saturday. When he came back out later in the show, the place went nuts. Yeah, you can.
I'd just like to comment on that. I'd just like to comment on that, and this is certainly nothing against Jarvis, but I think MCW is starting to create a rod for their own backs, because you're getting people, as soon as heel gets advantage, people start looking to the balcony to see if Jarvis is going to run in. It happened in the last couple of minutes of the main event, and I think it's wonderful, and I think it's a really different entry. But I think if Jarvis is going to do a run-in, it's almost better if he runs in from behind the curtain. I know that doesn't make him different or special anymore, but I think the problem is you're getting people losing the flow of the match because everyone's going, where is he? Where is he? And I think that can be a difficult dilemma to have. I just wanted to mention it.
It is a bit of an awkward spot. Another thing that I want to mention is just, and I don't want to harp on Stevie too much, but what I love about his act is how good he is in the ring. And it's the same with Tome. When they are in the ring and they look like they mean business, it works. So I would love to see Stevie, when he comes out, not going through and high-fiving all the fans and getting in the ring ready to wrestle. Especially when you're up against someone like Jarvis, who has the fans in the palm of his hand. Like, there's no real benefit to going to ringside and high-fiving people. I think I would have liked a lot more.
I don't know what they are, though. I don't know what the natural classics are. Are they heels or are they faces? Because I'm pretty sure the last time we saw them, they were heels. Right? Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the last time we saw them there, they were heels, like as a tag team. And then he came out and did that. I'm like, I don't understand. Yeah.
Well, I wonder if that's because Tome is moving, like moving over the States. So maybe they're trying to transition Stevie to, he's going to be a babyface as a solo act now.
Well, that's cool. But then get him to do something that
don't
makes
have him
him
wrestle
a
Jarvis
babyface
either.
Before. Well, yeah, that, but like get him to do something in front of people that would make it evident to them that there is a turn.
Yeah.
One way or the other. Just make it evident that this is what's happening. Like, I think too many times that, and of course it's because we don't have the benefit of like weekly TV. Shows. So you can't just do it, but it just, and we get this thing in our minds. We're like, okay, I think I'll be better as a babyface. Let me just come out next week and be a babyface, which just doesn't connect with the crowd, because I know you've been thinking about it for the last 3 weeks, but the crowd is still in the mindset of like, okay, he's a heel. So there needs to be something that before you do that, you come out and you're a babyface. Do you know what I mean? They need to know what you are before you come out. In some instances, it's when you've been there before. Put it that way.
And then when you are up against the biggest babyface in the company, it's also like, why would we get behind this guy who was a heel last time we saw him?
Yeah.
I think that even as simple as the two of them shaking hands at the beginning of the match would have made fans kind of go, okay, he's
if that's honestly what they wanted to do.
I was going to say, honestly, if I was Stevie, I would have lent into being a heel so much more, because it would have been so much easier for you when you've got Jarvis there. So much easier for you to get it. Other than that, I thought the match was really good. Because, I mean, correct. Jarvis, like Jamie said, getting better every time we see him, which is also a high watermark for where he's already been. And then you've got Stevie, who in ring is one of the best workers in the country. It's just that, like we always said, it's that other part that's not connecting properly for us. So it was always going to be a really good match, and it owned up it owned up to what the expectations were, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
My only sort of note for this was kind of the same as yours, where it was just a bit weird that back-to-back things were number one in the ballroom, and then loser isn't in the ballroom. Whereas you could have maybe put another match in between that, so the wheel seems a bit more random.
Yeah, rather than 2 matches in a row being, if you lose, it's going to suck for Ballroom Brawl.
Yeah, and I get it. You're like trying to market for Ballroom Brawl as the next show. This is where we're all aiming to. But it's sort of like you kind of have to mix it up so it looks random.
Yeah. Speaking of the wheel and build up to Ballroom Brawl, I think the next match was my favorite wheel result of the night. And a clear match of the night contender here. The Physicals, Jimmy Castle and Johnny Jets, who we have spilled a lot of ink complimenting, are back to doing their characters now that they are out of the influence of the Clydesdale. So they challenged Clyde to a tag team match, and he needed a partner, which was generated by the big wheel to be the human nuke, Lucky O'Leary. And these two work together better than some tag teams who have been doing it for a decade. My goodness, were they peanut butter and jelly in the ring. They're so similar in a lot of ways, and yet their differences complement each other really nicely. O'Leary and Clydesdale is such a natural... They're both really funny while being quite physical. I assume we're seeing more of these two because holy cow, did they work excellently as a team. And the Physicals, perfect baby faces to destroy in a first tag outing. I'll pass to Todd. What did you think of O'Leary and the Clydesdale versus the Physicals?
Yeah, you're 100% right. That pairing works so very well as a tag team. Like... Yeah, so Red Hot Nukes. Yeah, I liked. I thought it was really good.
That's great.
The Physicals, so good as well as that. Like almost like it's like a comedic Rock and Roll Express, if that makes sense. That's how they felt to me. As like. The fact that they were able to do a lot of the entertaining stuff and it still be a good match. They didn't overcook a hot tag. They didn't do anything like that. They were just really smart with what they did during the match. So I really, really liked it. I hope we get to see more of like Lucky O'Leary and Clydesdale together because it is a stacked roster for MCW. So if you can find an extra
a niche,
an extra niche where you're like, okay, I can do singles, but if you want, like Clydesdale, I can tag as well. So it just gives you more opportunities to get spots on a card that is a very hard place to get spots on.
And I mean, I think Clydesdale is a terrific gimmick and funny as hell and definitely improving in ring. But a tag with Lucky O'Leary is the best thing for Clydesdale because he can learn so much off Lucky about being the specific size he is, because as Lachlan mentioned, they're quite similar in size and moveset. So the Dale can learn so much off Lucky and really, really grow. I really like this match. It was a comedy match that had great moves, excellent chemistry, and a really nice narrative in that the Physicals were punching up. I said to one of the Physicals after the show, I said, when you guys win a match, that crowd's going to go absolutely apeshit. And they will. Loved it. Agree with you, Lachlan. And I'm one for Red Hot Nukes. What a great name.
If I could give them one piece of advice, don't do the Outrunner shit.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I didn't like. I'm like, if they weren't currently on TV doing it, that's cool. But they're literally doing it on Ring of Honor and on AEW when they have their matches. So just find something else you can do. I get it. It's cool. It's Predator. It's that cool shit. But it just they're doing it already.
It's also such a babyface thing to do for a team that couldn't be more of a heel tag team. That's...
They're entertaining heels though. So it's that real blurred line in today's wrestling that personally I don't like, but I get it.
Yeah, I think it's worth mentioning that there were 2 tag matches on this show, and the other one had two of the front runners, I think, for Australian Tag Team of the Year, unquestionably. And for this match to hold up as being on a similar level to that match speaks incredibly highly of all four of these guys. Jamie, what did you think of Lucky O'Leary and the Clydesdale versus the Physicals?
I agree. I really enjoyed this because it was a comedy match, but it didn't veer into overly silly. Like, it was still a good match with comedy bits, like comedy seasoning. And then, like you said, the Lucky and Clyde team, as soon as they stood next to each other, I went, they almost look like they could be brothers. Like, they have similar haircuts, similar size, and then they work so well together. I think, yeah, that's a very impressive team that they could run through the MCW division, and just it fleshes that division out a bit more, especially if Tome is leaving, the Natural Classics are out of that division.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of tags in that thing with size,
and not a lot of tags that are MCW as their home base. They tend to bring in a lot of people, whereas if you have the Red Hot Nukes, you have the Water Rapids, maybe Jarvis and Murdoch are in there some point, you have a division just of your own in MCW that doesn't have to rely on, oh, we'll bring the Dropouts in, or we'll bring ATO or someone from Adelaide in.
Just to correct, Tome is already in the US. He's been there for about a month.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. My fiance was watching this with me, and she asked the question, does he normally wear that nose strip? Talking about Lucky O'Leary. And I said, he's been wearing it for like a month or two. And she went, that's good because it means that I can tell the difference between those two. Like, that's how similar they look. But it was just that little bit of distinction, I think, is
Did anyone else? Did anyone else notice just then it was my fiance? Until now it's been Mickey, but now it's no wonder Victoria hates you.
Hey, I have to brag when I get the chance, right? Moving on from there, Matt Hayter and
bloody DJ said one had a beard.
One had a beard.
I mean, so does Mickey.
Well,
we call it Lachlan.
Boom, boom. Hey, I knew it was coming.
I just want to. I want them next show for Lucky and Clyde to like either both have the full like bodysuit straps that like the human nuke wears. Like Clydesdale just like leans into it, and then they just really lean into we are the same people.
Yeah. I loved it. So moving on, the ongoing feud between Matt Hayter and Edward Dusk came to a head here, and the big wheel decided that it would be for number one contendership to the MCW World Heavyweight title, which I think was a great stipulation for this match because both of those guys are really believable challengers to the throne. Edward Dusk has been the guy that they're starting to ascend to that point. He's, becoming a main eventer in MCW, and we've seen him, as the champ over in Adelaide, showing in Wrestle Rampage that he can do that role. Meanwhile, Matt Hayter has been doing it in Riot City for years now, and he's got the crowd in the palm of his hand as well. So it made sense as a stipulation for the match already. I was surprised that the wheel didn't make this some kind of hardcore match, knowing Dusk's history wrestling those style of matches and how hot this feud was. For it to still be a straight one-on-one singles match, I thought was interesting. But
because they had to lead it to being like a stipulation for Ballroom Brawl.
Yes, exactly. And I think that some of the stuff that they did here was a really great escalation of what's come before. And taking little things and putting in how much these two despised each other. Like when Hayter was in the Tree of Woe and Dusk sat down cross-legged in front of him and just started slapping him. And just having a slap fight in a Tree of Woe, I think that's beautiful. Jamie, what did you think of Matt Hayter and Edward Dusk for the World Heavyweight title number one contendership?
This was probably my second favorite match on the card. And it was in this match where I noticed Lindsay was on commentary earlier, but it was on this match where I went, Lindsay adds so much to the commentary in terms of like
He's
he was getting
phenomenal.
the history and the story of these two over, and particularly talking about how this match was bringing out the more viciousness and savagery of Edward Dusk, and like you really got to see that because he's been on a 4-match losing streak since the 25th of the 10th last year was his last win in MCW.
Someone did cage match.
I did. And yeah, I liked the idea of he keeps suffering these losses and he's just getting more and more angry, and hopefully it's leading to the monster that we've seen from Dusk in the past kind of being reawoken and that coming back out. And production wise, there was also a shot at the end after Hater got the win where he's sitting in the corner gloating. I loved that camera shot as well. So all around really enjoyable.
I like the fact that with Lindsay there on commentary, it allowed Simon to go more into that heel shtick as well, which he's really good at. Like, he's really good at playing that. Well, that's unfortunate for why the poor heel, the poor guy. I enjoy when he can do that, and he can't do that a lot normally because he sort of has to toe that line. Whereas I felt like this show he could lean himself more into it, which I thought was really good. The commentary overall I thought was really good because, like you said, history of everyone down. It was so good about that. This match, however, is probably tied with my favorite on the show, just because it had so much. It's got so much behind it, and so much is building to it. And Matt does such a great job of being a heel, but then also towing that line of like just being someone you love as well. So even though like it's sort of like it's the whole thing about his gimmick, like he goes, I have an ego, but then he's like, I fully accept that this is what I am.
Yeah,
so
he has an ego, but he can also back it up. Is the problem? Yeah. It's like, damn it.
But it's also like there's nothing worse than someone who has an ego and doesn't like admit that they have an ego.
Yep.
Yes.
Whereas like he's like, I have an ego. Like, I don't know what to tell you guys. I can't stop it because I'm just really good.
Which means that he can be, well, without changing the character. In this match, he was clearly the heel. And then at the end of the main event, when he's going to be taking on Robbie Thorpe next month, he's obviously the babyface without changing who he is.
Lachlan, he wasn't a heel in this match. It was two tweeners. The crowd were very, very firmly split. I know it didn't quite come through in the audio, but the crowd was very much 50-50. And the ending was simply brilliant. There's also that shot, and he was there for several minutes. Dusk was sitting at the left side, the right side as you're facing it, looking dejected, looking forlorn, not moving for several minutes. There is a man who is aware of the story he is telling and the importance of the story he is telling with the Dusk character. They were both out there, interacting with fans after the show.
Even if we say that he wasn't the heel in this match, he was definitely the antagonist of the story because he is the barrier that Dusk can't get past. And that's why Dusk set up for his finisher multiple times and Hater won with a roll-up. So the
fact is the character of Dusk is one who put that own barrier there. Edward Dusk under normal circumstances and Matt Hater under normal circumstances, eventually Dusk would win. Eventually he would overcome. But he's so far in his head. The character of Edward Dusk is so far in his own head that he has created this barrier and is unable, for all intents and purposes, to surpass it. The question moving forward is, how does Edward Dusk react? What does he do to bring Dusk back to the top? And I'm afraid I think I know the answer, and it's not going to be pleasant for anyone.
I think it's really, and I'll jump on Macho Man Andy Savage's comment here. I think Jeff's who said, I think Jeff's comment is supported by how readily they got behind Hayter after the main. He was already nearly a babyface. And CJ Bull said the MCW crowd is moving away from Dusk, and the more the match went on, the more the crowd loved Hayter, from someone who was sitting front row. Michael from Moonsault Press said Hayter getting a clean win over Dusk is so much more interesting for the Dusk story. He has to deal with the fact that Hayter was better. And that's the thing I wanted to point out that has consistently happened with Edward Dusk and MCW is regardless of the match, we come out saying, I'm really excited to see what is next for Dusk. Because with Dusk, it's always about that ongoing story. And there's things where, you know, after the main event, yes, I want to see the next show. After all the stuff for the Ballroom Brawl, yes, I want to see the next show. But I want to see what's next for Dusk, regardless of what the match is. I don't know what the match is, but if they put up a graphic that said Edward Dusk will be at the Ballroom Brawl, that's exciting for me. And I don't need any more to be invested in something's going to happen that continues what's happening with Dusk, which I love in wrestling.
Even if he's in the Ballroom Brawl, I could see him coming out and being like this wild, savage man who's just destroying people to the point where he goes a little bit over the top and gets taken out. Like management goes, you cannot use all of these weapons. You have to leave.
Yeah. I think this has been the plan for years. I think there's very few, maybe one or two in Australia who actually firmly plan the course of their character. And I don't think this is something that Edward Dusk and the great booking team at MCW, I reckon they charted this out. I reckon they knew exactly what they were doing. It's fantastic.
And an element that I'm going to bring in from the chat, Macho Man Andy Savage earlier said the sacrament being on the board clearly telegraphed what this was going to be, I thought. Michael from Moonsault Press saying exactly the same thing. I was expecting a sacrament. And the fact that Dusk hasn't been winning, but also has been kept away from the sacrament for so long, gives that question mark of what is Dusk in the sacrament in 2026? What does that look like? I am really interested to see what happens going forward. CJ Ball says, can Dusk snap in the Ballroom Brawl and dominate everyone? I'm actually excited for Dusk to lose the Ballroom Brawl. I want to see what that does to his psyche. To be inches away from getting another shot at the champ and not getting it. Like, that's the exciting story with Dusk. I want to see him keep losing and what happens to this man who, like, his ego is being destroyed, especially by a man who is all ego. I know we've spent a long time talking about this match, but I just think the storytelling here is so interesting.
And especially with there being a sacrament at Ballroom Brawl, you could sort of see him looking at it and being like, that's what I need to do. That's where I should be.
There's something really interesting about your idea, Lachlan. Imagine if Dusk comes second. Imagine what that will do to him. He's so close, even in this match, so close to a victory, and it's pulled out from under him at the last moment. My goodness, what a great piece of character work. Amazing, phenomenal.
Yeah, really enjoyed this. And excited to see where it goes going forward. Going forward, an MCW women's title match was up next. Shay Cassidy defending against Aisha, and this one spun up a blindfold match. Now, this unfortunately didn't work for me as much as I wanted it to. And I think part of that was there wasn't anything they did that I disliked, but they did it all for a very long time. And I think a blindfold match is always going to be a silly little thing that happens along the way. You're not concluding a feud with a blindfold match. And I am excited to see more from Aisha and Shay. And this ending in DQ hints that we will see more from it. But this, in my opinion, was too long for what it was doing. And it was not working to the strengths of either Shay or Aisha, who are two women who have an absolute laundry list of strengths, and this didn't work for either of them. Jeff, was the feeling in the building the same for Shay versus Aisha?
It got to a point where the crowd were getting a bit meandery with it, and were not as into it for the entire duration. They did chant, "This is awesome." What Michael is saying is true, which was pretty funny. But I still think that it was too long. And honestly, it's just not, as Todd would say, it's just not my flavor of ice cream. I found it. I like the ending, but I think they could have gotten there maybe a little bit quicker. This didn't work for me.
Todd, do you feel similarly about Shay and Aisha in a blindfold match?
I didn't mind it, honestly, because it worked to Shay's for certain things. It worked to Shay's strength, because Shay's strength is engaging with that crowd, and her doing all of that stuff like encourages that crowd to engage with her, and really pushes her towards, okay, she is the babyface. Like, this is, I know you got your hometown girl with Aisha, and like you could possibly want to like cheer for her because she's a Melbourne chick and all that, but when you've got just like force of personality of Shay and stuff like that, brings that out more, because she gets to do the whole Jake Roberts thing, point, no, she's not there, point, no, she's not there, point, that sort of stuff. I kind of like that. I kind of like it. I know it's not a traditional, like, a first defense for somebody, but it's not a traditional match. It's not a traditional show.
And I agree with what you're saying, Todd, but she did that. She did the point away and the crowd boos, and points at Aisha and the crowd cheers, points away they boo, points there they cheers, and then she started dancing and she didn't capitalize and attack Aisha off it. And
that's just Shay.
I know. I agree, but I think that was such a good opportunity for the crowd to feel like they were helping Shay, which increases that bond that she is developing with that crowd. It increases that response, which that's the thing that Jarvis has been doing this whole time that gets him that explosive reaction, is he's in there amongst the crowd. He's making them feel like they're part of it. If Shay had used their support to get some advantage over Aisha, I think that would have been really rewarding. And again, there was a lot in this match that I thought was fun and, you know, playing to the stipulation. I just think it could have been half the length. Jamie, What did you think of the Shay Cassidy Aisha blindfold match?
I basically agree with you in terms of, I think they could have achieved what they got out of this in a third of the time, even, because like it started really strong with like Shay grabbing Edwin and putting Edwin in the backslide, and then sort of the pointing thing, and then it just kept going. And I was like, oh, this is too much. Like, I would have liked to see like Shay doing the pointing thing, and then goes, okay, so she's over there, and then she goes to do something, Aisha moves out of the way, and Aisha does something, and then kicks out of it, and then Aisha just rips the blindfold off and destroys her, and we could have done that much quicker than we did. And I also think the ending was kind of a clunky ending sequence with the kind of false count thing didn't really work for me. So yeah, not the best. I know these two have so much more for the ultimate rematch down the road.
That's part of what it comes
down to. Do you
want
to blow everything on the first match, though?
No, that's what I mean. Like, cut it down by a third, do 2 or 3 of those things, and that's it. Leave the crowd wanting so much more.
There's another slight issue I have with this, and that is, I don't think I've heard of anyone losing a title on a blindfold match. You know, it was a bit of a foregone conclusion that it was probably going to be Shay winning, unless, you know, there was something untoward. And
to be fair, there's never been a title match for a blindfold, because normally that gimmick is because someone gotten blinded, and like the comeuppance is the bad guy losing. So it's never really been for a title. So, like,
but
it's also a first defense, so the odds that she was going to lose on first defense were already low.
And I think that, I mean, combining that with the actual length of the match, and I think the crowd are kind of smart enough to go, oh, she's not going to lose on a blindfold match.
Yeah,
But-
I do agree with Bloody DJ, who says, at no stage did I think they could see. It was well done for a match that doesn't come up much. They did a good job of making the stipulation feel real. And Michael from Moonsault Press says, it was the best blindfold match I've ever seen, but I'd rather a regular match. I think that's a good way to put it. I do think that they got some good stuff out of it. I just would have liked a more condensed version of that stuff.
Now, before you move on, Lachlan, remember after this was a contract signing with Erica Reed and Katie Lux with a strange associate accompanying Tony Villani.
Yeah, Tony Villani came out with a bit of a juicy accompaniment, which I thought was
they still haven't named him.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know who it is. He hasn't been named. Who could it possibly be?
Well, this is an interesting point because the crowd did not react. No one was going, "Hey, Gino." You know, you'd expect that. No one was.
Yeah,
because he made himself not
the focus.
He wasn't the focus.
Yeah, the focus. He like intentionally blended himself into the background, which was really good.
Yeah, he was legitimately just an associate.
Yeah,
yeah. I know I say it every time this happens, but Erica grabbing Katie's hand to sign the contract, it's not how contracts work. We all know this.
I wrote that in. Is it legally binding if the other person uses your hand to sign the contract?
Hang on. Let me just split hairs on my chin.
Give me a second.
Nerd. Yeah, there it is.
Thank you.
But I really like a lot of what was done here. I like that Erica is just ready to absolutely demolish Katie. I like that Katie is playing the heel, but is still obviously scared of Erica and didn't want to sign the contract to be in a terrifying stipulation with her. And
she was fine until the stipulation was... Yeah. She was fine until the stipulation was named. And that's when she's like, oh, I don't think I want this now.
Yeah, which is perfect. And the fact that the sacrament is being used not with an Edward Dusk match in a match between two women who have never been involved with Edward Dusk. And it was on the wheel earlier. We all thought it was going to come up for the Dusk match, but instead it comes up here. Really clever use of the wheel. Really clever use of a stipulation that is really exciting and really interesting. And I want to see every sacrament match that happens ever. So when you've got a feud and the big thing that it can build towards is a sacrament, yes. There's nothing that I didn't like.
Has there been a sacrament match that you haven't seen?
No.
I didn't think
and that's going to stay true forever. I've decided. I'm seeing them all. It's just such a clever little stipulation to be the, hey, the bad guy, the good guy's finally going to get their hands on the bad guy and rip them to shreds. And then also, after that 10 minutes is up, they can get a quote-unquote clean pinfall after absolutely savaging the heel because it becomes a standard match once the time is done. Macho Man Andy Savage says, I love Katie. After a recent Renegades turn, she just comes off like a real hateable piece of shit. Hey, she's a proper unlikable heel, which is excellent work from her.
I really like huge compliments to the MCW crew, management, and legitimately the storytellers, because they have made Katie a prominent performer on that show after about 4 or 5 appearances. Like, she has not been around for long, but she tagged on the wrong person's cape. You know, she absolutely tagged on the wrong person's cape. And this shit's going to get real. Shit is going to get real. This is going to be violent, and this is going to be good. And Katie is going to get loads of heat, and Erica is Erica. So I think this could be a sleeper match of the year. And you know, it would absolutely deserve to be.
Like, they've made her a big deal, and this will be, what, her 3rd MCW match?
Yeah, 3rd.
Yeah, something like that, which is wild. And then on top of that, talked about this the last couple of times it came up. But it's worth reminding ourselves that it's such a well-executed way of keeping Erica Reed out of the title picture without it feeling like it's artificial. Because she has every reason to be involved here. She wants Katie dead. She is going to get a chance to do it in the most violent way possible in the sacrament. And so, of course, you know, Aisha and Shay can be feuding over the women's title, and Erica's not involved, even though she's the most over woman in MCW and is a multi-time champ who got screwed out of the title, right? Like, it's fine. She needs to be doing this, which I think is really well executed. Michael from Moonsault Press put that in the chat, I think, basically as soon as I started talking about it. So we're on similar wavelengths there. Speaking of similar wavelengths, if you want to talk about tag teams that are right there in terms of dominating the Australian wrestling scene, Water Rapids and ATO are on that wavelength. And my goodness, what a match. This was so different to the ATO match that we saw the other week in EPW, where it was that real back and forth storytelling, and they were the baby faces. And here they just played pure heel, keep one of the other tag team unable to tag out, demolish them over a long period of time, make that heat really strong. Then when they get the hot tag, go balls to the wall. That's what they did here, executed to perfection by both teams. Tag team of the year at the end of the year is going to be a big conversation, and it's going to have these two names in it. And we're going to be coming back to this match to talk about it. Jamie, what did you think of Water Rapids versus ATO for the MCW tag titles?
I loved this. I loved that ATO jump started the match because they were already getting heat from the crowd. And that was just like dumping fuel on the fire of the crowd really hated them when they did that. And then in terms of the match itself, I love that they don't really change much about what they do. They kind of just are really good wrestlers, and that's what they do. And it just depends on who they're against, whether you cheer for them or hate them. The Tower of London spot that Julian did to Brian, he spiked him. That was looked insane. And then I love the combo moves that Water Rapids do in that closing sequence with the coast to coast tope moonsault 450. It's like, yeah, well, if you kick out of that, there's something crazy going on there. And yeah, just awesome. This was my favorite match. So everything about this was like my sort of stuff. It was the indie wrestling tag team stuff.
CJ Bull with the reminder that Water Rapids have just tied the Brat Pack's record for most title defenses in a reign. So Mitch Waterman about to beat Mitch Waterman's record. Bloody DJ says Water Rapids makes me want to buy a raft and hit the rivers. Couldn't agree more. And Macho Man Andy Savage says ATO make me want to fly to Perth. So like coming in from all sides here. Jeff, what did you think of Water Rapids versus ATO for the MCW tag titles?
I mean, how many ways can I say this was fucking fantastic? I loved the opening. I love that it just was, and it was go, 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 go. Those four men worked so hard for 12 minutes to give us this masterpiece. It's absolutely fantastic. I loved every second of it. Julian Ward looked like a monster in there. He's slightly taller. He's definitely thicker. He's broader. He's got more muscle, and he looked like a monster. I loved Lindsay's commentary in this, mentioning that Kaz started in MCW and how he's had this attitude change. I think it brought so much to the match. Both commentators were excellent. There's only one small production note I've got in this, and that's when Rapid was recuperating outside the ring. It's great to say, oh yeah, Rapid's recuperating as the commentators did. But when he comes back in to break up the tag, I wish it had been from a different angle, so he almost came from out of nowhere. Because there was a holy shit chant almost immediately, because for several members of the audience, they didn't know he was there. So I wanted to see that reflected in the production, but that's a tiny, tiny note for what was amazing. Like, so good. So good. My match of the night.
Andy Savage says there's something about Julian. He might just hit in Japan, you know. He looks like a Gaijin from 10 years ago. You ain't wrong. That dude's a beast.
He is
Todd-
built for Japan.
Oh yeah, he's a Japan guy. Good evening, Giant Coyote. Todd, what did you think about Water Rapids versus ATO for the MCW tag titles?
Well, I mean, this is like back-to-back weeks now where we're reviewing a show where we're talking about how good ATO are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No one ever says the ATO.
I know, especially
It's
this
the
time
old
of year.
version that's good.
Especially this time of year. But yeah, they came through yet again, and with such a varied opponents.
Yeah.
Like last week when we watched it, it was Slater and Marcus Pitt, who are two of the undisputed best in the country. Will go on to be named as legends of Australian wrestling. It's just because they have the resume. This week they're in the match against Ryan Rapids and Mitch Waterman, who in a lot more time could be in that same sort of discussion, but they aren't there yet. And they've put on just the same sort of a match in a totally different style, in a way that has guys like Jamie loving this the same way he liked the match with Slater and Pitt. But they told a story with it. That's the difference with a lot of stuff. And the biggest problem I have a lot of times with the matches that Jamie sort of likes with the AEW style is a lot of times they don't tell that story. It's just we're going to go spot, finish. Whereas these guys worked it. And they didn't give it to you too easily. And when they did, they didn't tease it and then do it. And they didn't do the thing where they normally do, where there's two sets of heat. So it's just they just timed it perfectly, I thought. This was, again, for me, there were 3 matches of the night, and this was my second one.
Yeah, this show was stacked. Let's be real. The amount of good stuff on this show was just unreal. And
just you talk about incredible tag teams of the Untouchables being one of, if not the best tag team in the country. Mitch Waterman's history as a tag team competitor is pretty unrivaled as well, with the Brat Pack, now Water Rapids, Rapid Fire.
Yeah, Rapid Fire is Ryan Rapid.
That's Ryan Rapid.
He's not in that one, right?
But you've got 2 of the best tag guys in the country. It's like when Bobby Eaton and Arn Anderson tagged for about a year and a half in WCW or NWA. It was amazing because they're both great tag guys, and that's what we're seeing in MCW.
And I think it's important to recognize that all 4 of these guys are good singles wrestlers. If you put any of these 4 guys in a singles match with just about anyone on the card, I'm psyched to see it. But they also understand how a tag match is different to a singles match and how to get the most juice out of that difference. I was blown away.
I'll just give one more note. I really like that physically now we've got Rapid and Waterman kind of G'ing each other up and pushing each other a bit to get the best performance out of each other. It's not done aggressively. It's done in a performative way. It's so good.
Yeah, Andy Savage says this was his match of the night. Tag team wrestling was such a lost art for so long. It made me really love it when it's done like this. And again, the fact that it was similar in construction to the other tag match on the card, where the heel team was quite dominant and got heat for a lot of the match, while still being really distinct in how it played out. I loved this. This was an absolute delight.
And like you said, of them all being singles, really great singles performers. If you wanted to extend this feud out and have it continue till the end of the year and just run various combinations of singles matches with these 4 guys, I'd be down to watch every single one of them.
Every damn one of them. Yeah. Obviously, they need the time to go to Japan.
Yeah. The biggest problem is, though, you've got 6 matches on a card.
Yeah.
When are you going to constantly do that? That's what's so hard about what makes it great about Australian wrestling, but also so very hard. Is where do you find the spots for these guys?
Yeah. If you had 4 shows a month, you could do that.
Yeah,
that's it.
But how are you going to do that and then say to other people, "Sorry, you're not on this week because we've got this on"?
Yeah.
And when you say 6 shows a card, and then there's 10 cards a year, It's 60 matches and that's it for everybody. That's all you've got. You put a Rumble in there that takes up 3 of those slots. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't care. Just give me more of this. Like, cancel everything else. Just this 3 times over the course of the show. I loved it. Moving on, though, to the main event, and this one felt big. We've talked about this before on the show. A main event is different. That main event style is just a different beast, and you can feel when the people involved know that and know how to work it. And that's what this main event was. MCW World Heavyweight title was on the line as a result of Big Wheel deciding which of the 2 championships would be defended, which means that Robbie
I like how it's just Big Wheel now. It's almost like a character in himself. Big Wheel came out and said...
Yeah, well, like the villain from Spider-Man, who's just a big wheel.
Wheel.
Robbie Thorpe defending his MCW World Heavyweight title against Adam Brooks with Rocky Monero on the outside. This one went a marathon, a 26-minute match that just kept slowly escalating in pace until at the end, all of the pieces started to tumble, with interference by Rocky Monero getting counteracted by the appearance of Jarvis, and ref bump to Edwin, and that insane leg drop that Thorpe is doing now. Holy hell. And then after the match, Hayter came down and an army of people showed up to get thrown over the top rope. Big time build crescendo for this show, leading into Ballroom Brawl for the next show. Let's throw to Jeff. How did this main event play in the room between Thorpe and Brooks?
This got a reaction. This got one hell of a reaction. I mean, everything did, but that crowd was so behind Brooksy. I mean, near where I was, there were ongoing chants of Brooksy 2 belts, Brooksy 2 belts. And I thought, boy, these people are going to walk away very disappointed. It was like you could tell that Robbie was going to win. Robbie's presentation at the moment, that gold mask is fantastic. Like, he's just out there prissing and preening with the gold mask on. And
that shirt he came out in as well.
Yeah.
So pretentious and pompous looking.
Oh, incidentally, almost remiss of me, happy birthday to Robbie Thorpe. Today is his birthday. He's celebrating by crushing the bones of Lachlan in his dreams. So, I think it's a fair
You think he'd do something special for his birthday, but apparently not.
happy
Doesn't he do that
birthday,
every
Robbie.
week?
Happy birthday, mate. Look, this was such a good match. I mean, Brooksy is undoubtedly amazing, like phenomenal, and he's got a great partner in Robbie, in that, like, their chemistry together is tremendous. And with Rocky outside, just having so much fun being a shitheel, it was wonderful. Great match, terrific match, and the crowd were all over it. Like, they were chanting for Brooksy and booing the hell out of Robbie. It was great.
Jamie, what did you think of the chaos in this MCW World Heavyweight title match between Thorpe and Brooks?
I feel like you were just trying to annoy me with that introduction of this match, because this is not for me. I hated the ending of this. I have made it pretty clear I don't like the overbooking of, like, this and then this and then this and then all of these things happen to get to what could have been a fairly simple outcome. Like, I understand there needed to be a little
Stampede,
bit.
yeah.
Yeah, but that was fine. That's what you expect from that match.
That's it.
Show's over, folks.
Todd's done.
It's been a good 12 years, folks.
You've injured Todd.
It's been a good 12 years.
Yeah, but, like, for a singles world title match, I don't like all of the, like, outside, like, this guy comes in and then does this, and then this comes in and does that, and it's like, it was a bit much for me. I think we could have achieved it with maybe 2 or 3 of those things taken out and still got the similar levels of crowd anger.
So the way Moxley won for about a year and a half.
I didn't like that. It was annoying as hell.
You're not supposed to, Jamie.
Todd's about to come in with a shoulder to the head so he can get sent off this show. Todd, what did you think of the MCW World Heavyweight title match between Thorpe and Brooks?
Look, I think it was a great match. I think Jamie is, and I said this offline, so I think Jamie is massively overthinking the end because it was to lead into a Rumble show next. So that's always going to happen on the end of every one of these shows. They don't have a Monday Night Raw to have everyone go flying out and flying over the top rope before. So this is what they do. Like I could have told you that this was going to be the end of that show before the show started. I could have told you that when we did the preview. I could have said this show is going to end by this guy coming out, all getting into a brawl, getting thrown over the top ropes. Baby faces rule the ring. Pretty much what happens on every of those shows. Yeah, mate.
Todd, do you want to clip that so we can play it every year to Jamie, and that way we don't even have to repeat it?
We should do. We should do indeed.
I thought you'd
like the match.
By the way, the next PWA show, which is dropped out, the next show after that is King of the Metro, right?
So do you think the end of it? How do you think the end of? How clean do you think the end's going to be?
It'll be totally clean and fine.
This match into all.
Would you like to join me on the post show and discuss this?
No, I'll be driving home.
What's that, Todd? Are you doing a post show for PWA Dropped Out tomorrow night at twitch.tv/Wrestle Radio Australia?
We'll talk about that. Brooksy shouldn't be here. No. Brooksy should not be in this. I keep saying this every fucking time. Brooksy is the best head and shoulders above anyone else in Australian wrestling at the moment. That it's disgusting that he's still here. Yeah. And like MCW benefits so greatly from that unfortunate occurrence. The fact that they use him by saying, "Hey, we're going to put you in there with every young guy that is coming up and is fucking great, and we're going to test them. You're our benchmark. He is literally the classic Intercontinental Champion from the 80s, 90s. Yeah. Where you put every good young worker in there and say, "Hey, we're going to see how good you are because you're going to have to go and hang with Brooksy. If you can hang with Brooksy, you might have a future in this business, kid." I'm saying that in a obtuse way, but it's the way it is. Robbie Thorpe is already 3/4 a made man. He's got so much investment behind him, especially now with Rocky transitioning to be a manager and being his corner man. That this was not going to be anything but a really good match. The end of it being what the end of it was going to be, and it was always going to be that ending. So, I discount that completely. The match itself was great and topped off a show that I thought was really, really fucking strong to lead into pretty much their WrestleMania.
Yeah. There were a couple of things that I really did like, though, like the Rocky Matt Hayter super kick, throw the belt, catch the belt spot, I thought looked awesome. And then there was a thing on Twitter this week of what ifs in wrestling, what is your biggest what if in wrestling? And mine was...
Yeah, I saw that.
If Brooksy and Slex and Kelly Ann, if COVID had never happened, we wouldn't get this match.
They wouldn't be back. No. They wouldn't have come back. He wouldn't have... Yeah. Brooksy would not have come back.
We wouldn't have...
Easily.
The incredible Inter-Commonwealth run that we've got Adam Brooks on at the moment. It's been... He's had that belt for about 18 months. And
that being said, and I say this in a very fucking roundabout way, we wouldn't have got Brooksy, Brooksy wouldn't have been back, but also speaking selfishly, Queensland wrestling would not be as strong as what it is now if COVID hadn't have happened, because Mark Davis wouldn't have been stuck in Australia and wouldn't have been able to really help train the current crop of guys who are absolutely fucking murdering it up here. So, I mean, as bad as COVID was, and it was fucking bad for a lot of people, we have to take certain little things out of it that if this hadn't happened, we wouldn't have this now.
And
it sucks for Brooksy and that.
If Slex was over there, imagine the physical condition change that we wouldn't have seen for Australian wrestling. You know what I mean? That butterfly effect.
Half of Australian wrestling would still be wearing T-shirts while wrestling.
Yeah, that's right.
The percentage of body fat across the country would have been much higher.
Yeah, that's it. Michael from Moonsault Press says we're spoilt every time we get to see Brooksy live. Bloody DJ says, I agree with Todd. Brooksy's an anomaly that we should not be able to see for $30 on a Saturday. If you do want to see Brooksy in just over 2 days' time, MLW is going to have their Fusion season premiere, which is going to have Adam Brooks on it in like a special middleweight showcase match, because he's that good that MLW wants to stick him on a season premiere after he's been a guest coach in WWE at the Performance Center not that long ago, when he's been on TNA TV a couple of times recently. Like, that's how good he is. That's the Adam Brooks. And Robbie Thorpe is gunning for Adam Brooks's spot on MCW. And that's the biggest compliment that you can give someone.
Robbie Thorpe... And we sort of like Robbie Thorpe is Elliot Sexton when Elliot Sexton was Elliot Sexton in MCW.
Yep.
Yeah. Michael from Insult Press mentioning that Brooksy's also at Ozpro against Matty Romano this weekend, which will be fantastic. There's a couple of good cards going around Victoria this weekend, but Robbie Thorpe is Sexton. The mask came off, and the slightly older woman next to me taps me on the shoulder, and I went, "Yes." She went, "He's very handsome," and I went, "Yes, he is."
Yes, unfortunately. Look,
can I also ask one question as well?
He maybe does have to get that mask maybe a bit more.
That elastic tightened a little. Yeah.
Yeah, because like it kept slipping, and like to the point where I think commentary had to cover for it at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jamie?
I was just going to ask too, like, obviously with the wheel spin gimmick and it came up with the World Heavyweight title, would the result have been a bit more in question if it had come up with the Intercommonwealth title?
I don't think.
But you know what? I think people would have thought whatever the result was going to be whoever the title landed on.
Yeah, we weren't getting a double
right? Yeah, if it was Intercommonwealth, they would have said, "Oh, Brooksy's going to win this match." Shit, cool.
Yeah.
But being the world title, and it was, I like the fact that it landed on the world title because it was like, this is the first time Rocky's not in control, and it's showing now.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, really enjoyed this. Really enjoyed this show. MCW High Stakes this year in Australian wrestling has already been a banger. This show is stellar. The fact that Todd's out here saying that he's got 3 matches of the night in a show with 6 or 7 matches, half the show is his match of the night. Like it's of such a high quality that we can't distinguish what our incredible matches are. Like, the fact that this is free on YouTube is unbelievable. Go to YouTube. It's 2.5 hours of excellent wrestling. Check it out. Get excited for the Ballroom Brawl. Jeff, you look like you've got some info there.
Yeah, one thing I really liked about this show, just in conclusion, is there's 6 matches, and the first 3 matches all highlight newer, younger, wrestlers. Because, like, Nate Hunter's quite new. Jarvis is new to being a babyface, really. It's only been about 6 or 7 months. It's amazing. And obviously Clydesdale and the Physicals are quite new. Just incredible. Just great to see that MCW are bringing through that next generation quite visibly, and it's wonderful.
And younger wrestlers working at a truly elite level here. A really fantastic show that there's no reason not to go and check this one out. MCW High Stakes 2026 on YouTube. And if you're in the Melbourne area, at the Melbourne Pavilion is going to be that Ballroom Brawl. Like, it's taken everything in me not to fly down for that show, because what an absolute ripper that's going to be if it is anything like this show. And so Macho Man Andy Savage says, MCW hasn't been my flavor of ice cream for a while now, but I thought this was a bloody outstanding show. Yeah, there's no argument for this one.
Well, see, Ballroom Brawl right now has got lined up, Hayter and Thorpe for the MCW title, Erica and Katie in the Sacrament match.
The Ballroom Brawl match.
The Ballroom Brawl. I imagine there's probably going to be another run back with Aisha and Shay. I mean, we don't know what tag team there might be.
You'd think the Water Rapids are going to be there both possibly in the brawl, but definitely doing a tag match. It's going to be
great.
Go on, Todd.
No, go.
I was just going to say that we talked the other day about how tough it can be to put a 30-person Rumble together. The Ballroom Brawl is 20. And the quality of the people that are on MCW, they are going to pick 20 of the best damn professional wrestlers you've ever seen. Like, in terms of in-ring match quality, I don't know if there's a Rumble going that's going to be able to keep up with what this Ballroom Brawl is going to put on. It's really exciting what they're going to do in that match. So I'm excited to, like, what do we know so far? Lucas Fantasia's in it, number 1, and Jarvis is in it, right? Yeah. Like, that's, and presumably Nate Hunter.
Pretty much it.
That's what we've got. So there's 17 other people who are going to be in this match, and they're all going to be killers. Right, I'm psyched for it. So get along to that show.
Put it this way: there's going to be no one in there just making up the numbers.
No, they are not making up numbers in that. They could do 30 and have no one making up the numbers, but they aren't. They are making sure that it is top notch. So get along to that show. Speaking of getting along to shows, this weekend you can get along to a show. But Beetle Bailey's planning right now for Ballroom Brawl. How about plan for one of these? If you're in New South Wales, PWA Black Label has dropped out at Liberty Hall in Moore Park tomorrow night, Friday, May 29th. I believe that's also going to be live and free on YouTube. And
we'll cover the card fully more in a bit. So
you can catch the post show for that here. But then on Saturday, May 30th in New South Wales, you've got a couple of options. Harbour City Pro Wrestling has Night of Inception at St. Mary's Rugby League Club. I don't have the suburb for St. Mary's Rugby League Club, unfortunately. I could stake a guess at it.
Maybe St.
Mary's? St. Mary's.
St. Mary's.
That's the joke. Pacifica Wrestling Federation is also on Saturday, May 30th. They've got Sacred Ground, which is at King Tom Club, which is in it's in Enza Park. Adenza Park. That's on Saturday, May 30th. Wrestling Go.
Been a good 12 years. Been a good 12 years, guys.
Wrestling Go has Metal Mayhem, the Blacktown PCYC. That one's at Blacktown on Sunday, May 31st. Meanwhile,
no, it's at PCYC.
Oh, right. If you're up here in Queensland, then Wrestling Allegiance Rockhampton has Under Siege at the Great Western Hotel in Rockhampton on Saturday, May 30th. In South Australia...
match 2 is on that match from Bobby Bishop and Trent O'Day.
Yeah.
Best of 7 series continues there. That's exciting stuff. Over in South Australia, Pro Wrestling South Australia has Road to Super Slam. That's at the Greenwith Community Centre in Greenwith on Saturday, May 30th. Wrestle Rampage has... I have no idea what's going to headline this show. Dusk versus Night. So that's going to be at Cosgrove Hall in Clovelly Park on Saturday, May 30th as well. Meanwhile, down in Victoria, Professional Championship Wrestling, good old PCW has Slam featuring Evolution and Ignition at the Southeastern Entertainment Centre in Ferntree Gully. Those are on Friday, May 29th and Saturday, May 30th, respectively. Then, Ozpro Wrestling, we've got the power! Presumably referencing the fact that Adam Brooks used to use that as his theme song, and they got Adam Brooks, right? That's at Central Ringwood Community Centre in Central
Do you not
Ringwood,
see the graphics?
What?
What are the graphics? What do the graphics denote to you?
A ticket update.
Jamie, can you please tell him?
It's He-Man and the Master of the Universe.
I have the power.
The
You're
power
like
of
Jack
grace.
from Star Wars. You're fucking killing me. How can you be this much of a nerd and not do that?
I'm only 31, Todd. That show on Saturday, May 30th, the diamond seats are sold out. The gold ringside seats are sold out. The second row, the silver seats are 90% sold. General admission, 70% sold. If you have a chance to get to that show, make sure you do it quick. Get those tickets now.
Before you go on, just back to PCW quickly. This is going to be one hell of a show. We're going to get appearances from Michelle Rowe, Charlie Rose, Sammy Falcon, in his first words to PCW in about 6 years, and Camby is back. Plus, Shen against Sean Marauder. Wow. Aisha against Alyssa Webb. Lucky O'Leary against Stevie Philippe. Ben and Breakfast with Sam Yanis against Murdoch and Jarvis. That's going to be incredible. And then the main event, Ryan Rapid against Seth Tanner. This is going to be fantastic. We're not going to answer Rosie's question. Let's just move on. Hi, Rose.
And over in Western Australia, Lucha Fantastica has the anniversary in Perth at the Perth Mess Hall on Saturday, May 30th, and that's in Perth. So that's going to be
I swear to God.
Jesus.
That's going to be a
I swear to God.
On tomorrow night at Liberty Hall, it's going to be Dropped Out for PWA. Let's run through that. That's going to be hosted by Scott Green, but there's going to be an appearance by perennial Scott Green enemy Lockie McIntyre, which we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, they're friends now.
He gave him a present, I saw.
Pretty cool present.
I can't imagine that that's going to lead to babyface Lockie McIntyre. He's going to be a shithead, I'm sure. Then
maybe it's heel Scott Green.
Ooh.
Maybe Lachlan just made another enemy.
Yes.
Scotty has organized a something of a ladder match with the most valuable thing that you could possibly want to retrieve. That's right. It's a fuel card on a pole match. That's going to be a banger. It's Shea Cassidy v. Jude London v. Aaron Jake v. Billy Preston. Like, talk about some names. My goodness. You've got the team of MK Plus Ultra, the full three-person MK Plus Ultra, taking on the team of RANGA, the Redheads Against Negative Ginger Abuse.
You can
I'm not convinced I can.
You can say it. We can't say it. You can.
Rose, can you give him permission to say it?
A match that I think
give him a G-Pass.
A match that I think is low-key going to blow the roof off the place is Skaterboy Pidgey versus Ben Braxton. I'm not sure why he's being advertised as Benjamin Braxton, but we'll go with it. No Soul Rose says, to be clear, the fuel card gives you all your fuel covered by PWA for an entire year. Late-breaking news, I'm in that fuel card match.
I was going to say, I'm going to be in Sydney tomorrow. Can I get in on that?
I'll fly up. It's worth it.
There's going to be a PWA Tag Team Championship match between the champions, North Shore Wrestling, the Osbournes, and the challengers, Mana and Manouche. And then in the main event, it's a no DQ street fight for the soul of PWA Championship with Tony Sin challenging the other half of the dropouts, the Tuck Man, for that soul of PWA title.
He's going to win it totally clean.
Completely clean. He's going to stand by himself in the middle of the ring at the end and no one else is going to come out. Right, Jamie?
Yeah.
Not a single weapon will be used.
And we've just popped up that graphic on the screen. There's going to be the Friday night watch along and the PWA post-show edition, twitch.tv/WrestleRadio Australia. Toddy's going to be here to chat everything that went down on PWA Dropped Out and the fact that there was no nonsense at the end of the show. So that's going to be good.
Yeah, it's not so much going to be a review. We're just like, if they want to join us afterwards, jump over from the PWA YouTube channel over to us, probably about 10-15 minutes after the show. We'll just talk about the show. Not really a review because we'll be doing that next week on this show. But just a sort of a debrief about what happened. Not so much a review, and just get your thoughts, I guess, as a crowd.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many things to have your thoughts about. After the break, we're going to talk about WWE. We're going to talk about AEW. We're going to talk about our chicken shit and chicken salad. There's absolutely no time for another segment. There were no bad jokes that I need to be taken revenge on for. Everything is fine. We're moving through to the break.
No. I bet you won't guess who we've got that. Well, Todd, why don't you roll?
Well, he can. I was going to say he can see the preview, so he knows who you got.
I don't.
I don't want to look.
No, you don't, but he does. So we have yet another edition of Backstage with Jeff.
This is Backstage with Jeff.
I'm here with the gambler Ben Barnett. Had a banger tonight against Matty Romano. Ben, how you feeling? I'm feeling good, but you know what? Seeing you just makes me think of the Wrestle Radio Australia guys and that freak Lachlan Albert. You guys do all the work, you're covering all the local shows, and we love that. But no coverage of Justice for Ben. Lachlan, I put that squarely on you. That is another injustice against Ben Barnett, and I'm not going to stand for it any longer. You're a
This has been Backstage with Jeff.
Outrageous,
Why
Lachlan.
Why
What
am
were you gonna
I
say?
popping this? There's 4 of us. Why am I copying this?
You're the host.
I don't put the
Yeah,
run
you are.
sheet together.
You're the host.
That's my job.
It's time for you to
Don't go.
Don't try and drop Todd at this. This is all
Yeah.
your fault.
You have just as much access to the run sheet as everyone else. You could add these things.
Yeah, I'm merely a with comments with Todd. That's all I am here. What do you think I'm doing around here?
Yeah, and I'm copping it from the chat too. CJ Bull in chat with a very clear no one likes Lachlan. Thanks, CJ. Love your work. All right, I'm gonna take
bloody DJ says the injustice is crippling. I feel that poor tortured soul.
Thank you, bloody DJ. Thank you. I'm
No,
sure you're
have
talking
a
about
seat.
me and not Ben Barnett.
He wasn't talking about he was talking about Ben Barnett, mate.
Yeah, I need to take a deep breath. So we need to have a couple of minutes of playing some promos for some stuff that's coming up in wrestling, right?
Yeah, we've got a whole bunch of promos for tomorrow night's PWA Dropped Out from the crew at PWA, and we'll be right back. Hey, right after this. Did I do it right, Lachlan? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, whatever.
Lachlan. He seems very upset.
Wrestle Radio Australia, Australia's longest running wrestling podcast, live every Thursday on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube with Making Chicken Salad. They break down the latest Aussie news, shows, world wrestling news, and call out what was chicken salad and what was absolute chicken shit this week in wrestling. Catch the podcast the next day and follow them on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Just search Wrestle Radio Australia.
At a place called Blacktown. But they're right here. The Osborns were right. What do you mean they're right here? We thought we'd come out here and give it a chance because Mano and Manoush just seem to love it. Osborns. Apparently it's called Manoush. Now, this is the boys' favourite food.
Is there right here?
But how can we miss them? Look at the size of both of them. It's sort of like pizza, but grosser.
Sorry, bro. Can't find them anywhere.
Can't forget the lemon.
Bro.
Wait, Osborns wouldn't know nothing about that.
No way! That's crazy.
Well, what a coincidence, because this is where you're going to end up on May 29th.
It's not like they can afford to go to Royal North Shore.
I know we got a nice Manoush cut, but it's not making it better. Where are they cut?
There's a big bald head and there's a big set of I'm gonna flog him.
No. Cuz. Let's get in the Rexy, cuz.
You won't get the train, that doesn't seem like a good idea, but
Oi!
just hop on the MC.
You come to someone's area, you don't even want to say hello?
You look hyped up, you don't want to wait till May 29th. No, we don't. You don't want to wait. No, we don't. You want to go, come stay here.
Whoa. You don't get this for free. I'll tell you what should be free, that soggy ass pizza.
That's my Manoush, cuz. You don't mean it.
Don't worry about it.
I'm going to take your belt.
It's alright. It's alright.
And the parable of the Tuck Man reaches its inevitable end. Not sat on the throne, but sat in Nowheresville, Dubbo. You wanna go with the Tuck Man, bro? May 29. Street Fight.
Sure, cuz! The biggest match of our lives is coming up. We're close, cuz. The PWA Tag Team Championships against North Shore Wrestling.
And if Sam and Jack want to keep talking that ish, oh, bruh, drop that, I swear.
They're gonna twist them, Habibi.
Come on! Come on, man, it's not that bad. It's easy for you to say, you actually have hair. Bro! Look at you!
I did this for you.
It's amazing. We're Bold Brothers now, MK plus Bold. Oh my god, what did you both do? We got a big match against Rager at Liberty Hall, and you guys look like that? I'd rather look like this than be a Rager! Got a point. I mean, yeah. Well, are you gonna chuck us over the top rope again at Liberty Hall?
Yeah, hang on. Oh, what the hell?
Cosmo Cooper and Kai Drake have been eliminated.
You're still on that? Get over it, it was a battle royal, I would do it again. Come on, apologise, because I would do the same. Sorry. Good, alright. Now, are we all on the same page? Yeah. Alright, yeah. Good. I'll see you guys at Liberty Hall.
The irony is so thick, it almost dropped out of university. You point to the sky, to a God you don't believe in, to pander to fans that will forget you the second I send you back to Dubbo. And you do it to a song from my country about my city. Well, Tuck, anything goes in a no DQ. But for you, everything goes. Because by the time I am finished with you, you will not even be able to use your arms. This is God's will. Amen.
Hey everybody, it's Rated R Superstar Adam Copeland. I got a bunch of handles. Anyway, call me what you want, but you are listening to WRA, Wrestle Radio Australia.
Welcome back to Making Chicken Salad, the Wrestle Radio Australia show, where we talk about everything going on around the world of wrestling. We're going to touch on some WWE news, where during Raw, it was announced that Logan Paul had suffered a torn tricep in his match against the Street Profits during Saturday night's main event, specifically showing a spot where he took a dive from Angelo Dawkins. WWE announced that Paul would be out of action for months as a result. The curse of that faction continues, and not only that, injuries in the order that they joined.
Yeah.
Oh, really? It's creepy. Yeah.
That is so true.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell you what, like Austin's got to be just walking around in cotton wool at the moment.
Oh, absolutely.
You open that door. You open that door.
Yeah,
and for all intents and purposes, it looks like Maxine Dupree is going to be joining them soon. So she must be doing similar. You know, she must be also wrapping herself up.
Yeah, you'd want to be careful on that. Saturday night's main event, we just mentioned it, and let's talk about the results of that one. Opening with a 6-man tag match, BFAB, Jade Cargill, and Meechin defeated Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and Rhea Ripley. That one had Jade Cargill pin Rhea Ripley to seem to build towards a rematch for the world title there. The non-title match had Sol Ruka defeat Becky Lynch by disqualification after Becky pulled the ref in the way of a soul cutter. Soul Snatcher, that's what it's called. So Becky Lynch DQ'd there in that non-title matchup. Then in an Intercontinental title match, Penta defeated Ethan Page to retain the title. Moving on for more title retention, Jeff's favorite, the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Brie Bella and Paige, managed to defeat the Irresistible Forces, Lash Legend and Nia Jax. And
Can
the
we play
WWE
backstage with Jeff again, please?
The WWE World Tag Team title match had the Vision, Austin Theory, and Logan Paul defeating the Street Profits to retain those titles. Nothing massively shocking here other than Alexa, Charlotte, and Rhea not winning their match, but with a reason for that seems to be building towards something specific, right?
Just quickly, how rapidly has Saturday night's main event become almost extremely skippable, just nothing show?
Yeah,
It's
SmackDown
become
Plus.
the show they just chuck on when there's a pay-per-view for AEW on.
Yeah, it's the counter program. But they do have a pay-per-view coming up, a premium live event coming up. The full card for Clash in Italy, which is going to happen on Monday at 4 a.m. Australian time. We've got Cody Rhodes versus Gunther for the undisputed WWE Championship. Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu in Tribal Combat for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And if Fatu loses, he must serve Roman. Then there's Becky Lynch versus Sol Ruka, and this time it's for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. And Oba Femi is going one-on-one with Brock Lesnar. Anything? Obviously, we know that a couple of us, Jeff and I in particular, aren't excited for Brock Lesnar being back. Is there anything that particularly wets anyone's whistle?
I'll be honest with you. I like the way that they retconned why Brock is back.
The Brock quote-unquote retirement.
Yeah, the way he did the promo, and he goes, at the time, I didn't know, and then after thinking about it, that didn't sit well with me. Which is you can imagine that would happen to quote unquote real fighters. Like at the end of the match, at the end of the fight, they're highly emotional. They're like, "That's it, I can't do this anymore. I retire." Then afterwards, going to hang on. I don't want to lose to this. I don't want to be retired by getting my ass whooped like that. So I kind of like the way that they did that.
From
real fighters get retired from failing a drug test. Go on, Jeff.
From my perspective,
no, they don't. John Jones.
The only way to save this. The only way to save this, and it's not going to happen, is Oba beats Brock. Brock says, "I want you one more time. If I can't beat you at SummerSlam, I retire," and loses, and we never have to see him again.
Nah, he's going to win. They're going to a rubber.
No, he's going to win, and then he's going to go with Gunther at Mania at SummerSlam.
I'm actually really like the Jacob Fatu's work in the build to Roman against Jacob.
Yeah,
and I think it's going to be
really
a great match. His work has been phenomenal.
His promo work,
especially. It's been good to the point where people are saying, "Hey, I actually want him to win this title.
I want him."
Because I'd like to know what this direction will be with him being the leader of the bloodline. And I know that it's not supposed to be, there's not supposed to be interference in Tribal Council. I just get this real inkling that the Usos are turning.
Yeah, but on who?
I don't know what it is. On Roman. On Roman. I don't know why, I just get this real feeling that they're turning on Roman.
They've got
to join
do
with their quote unquote actual blood family, last name.
Yeah. I like they've got to do something with the Usos because the Yeet stuff is so stale now.
Well, he's not doing that anymore, really.
Yeah. Well, he still is, though, because he's still coming through the crowd and, what Jamie's doing, the whole, play it again. He's still doing it.
Yep. Let's move over to the other side of the brand war then with AEW, and Tony Khan has plans to make My AEW a global hub for pro wrestling. Speaking at the post Double or Nothing press conference on Sunday night, Khan addressed the news that One Fall wrestling content will be featured on My AEW, adding that indie promotion made sense given it's owned by QT Marshall, an AEW wrestler / executive, and Khan confirmed the move as part of a broader strategy that will see more promotions join My AEW. Quote, My AEW is primarily focused on international subscribers, but we do have the domestic service, and it has a lot of great content. We plan to feature wrestling from multiple promotions, Khan said. Quote, we've just added QT's great promotion. We have One Fall Wrestling now, but we're looking to add other promotions to My AEW and make it a hub for pro wrestling all over the world. This mostly just feels like
we all know that One Fall's gone really well in Australian wrestling. Anyway, the question I had with this, right, and Jamie and I talked about it a little bit as well, is how I would like to know how these, because it seems like Tony's sort of going, hey, everyone that's on Triller,
here's an alternative that's not
here's
YouTube.
An alternative. My question is, how is that going to affect A, them getting paid, B, our sub price?
Yeah.
Because presumably if he starts adding, say, let's just like throw this out. Say he added like a GCW and like a One Fall Wrestling and like
Progress, like Defy,
all these places,
Mystery Wrestling,
like
Mystery Wrestling is a logical choice.
Yeah,
Mystery Wrestling,
but like, how much will that end up being passed on to us as a price?
Yeah,
because I don't know if I want to pay more than what I'm already paying a month. Like,
I would hope it would be like an add-on, maybe, but probably not.
Yeah.
But and there's also people like they should put PWG on there because that's essentially where a lot of these guys were made. But there's some issues with PWG's back catalog.
That's a nice way to put it.
Yeah,
I would wonder what the remuneration would be for these guys, and how would they even work it out? Like, say we go, we'll pay you like X amounts of cents per stream. But then you've got to work out exactly how many streams are they going to do and all this sort of stuff. And like, they haven't worked out an app yet for a phone or an iPad.
They don't have an app.
Well, they've got an app, but it's only for like
You're streaming
Apple TV
dongle
and
sticks.
You're
Yeah,
streaming
they don't
dongles
have
and Fire and
an Android app or an iPhone app.
no. I think they need to sort that out before they start adding 1,000 promotions on there.
Yeah, that's got to be the priority, surely. But hey, if you've got My AEW, it means that you were able to watch Double or Nothing over the weekend. Let's look at what happened there. On the buy-in, AEW Women's World Tag Team Title 5-Minute Challenge Eliminator had Divine Dominion, Lena Cross and Megan Bayne retain, defeating Viva Van and Zeta Steele in 4 minutes 45, so just squeaking under the line. Then the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli, Daniel Garcia, and Wheeler Yuta with Marina Shafir defeated the Ops, Anthony Bowens, Hook, and Katsuyori Shibata. And then in the most stacked match you've ever seen, Boom and Doom, Big Boom, AJ and QT Marshall, and the conglomeration, Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Roderick Strong, with Big Justice and Harley Cameron and the Rizzler, defeated Shane Taylor Promotions, which was Anthony Ogogo, Charlie Bravo, Lee Moriarty, Shane Taylor, and Sean Dean with Christian XO. Then the main card kicked off. AEW World Tag Team Title I Quit match, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage managing to defeat FTR to earn those titles. Then the AEW International title was on the line with Konosuke Takeshita defeating Kazuchika Okada. And before a beatdown could happen, we had the return of one Kyle Fletcher, who then turned on Konosuke Takeshita. Then in the Owen Hart Foundation 2026 Women's Tournament quarterfinal, Athena defeated Mini Shirakawa. In an AEW Continental title no time limit match, John Moxley defeated Kyle O'Reilly in 18 minutes 44 seconds, if you were wondering. Then in the first round of the Owen Hart Foundation 2026 Men's Tournament, quarterfinal 1 was Will Ospreay defeating Samoa Joe, and quarterfinal 2 was Swerve Strickland defeating Bandito. Then the AEW Women's World title was on the line in a four-way match where Tekla managed to retain against Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, and Chris Statlander. In a Stadium Stampede match, Jack Perry, Jericho, and the Elite, Kenny Omega, Matt Jackson, and Nick Jackson, as well as the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, accompanied by MVP, managed to defeat the Don Callis family of Andrade El Idolo and Mark Davis, the Demand of Bishop Khan, Ricochet, and Toa Leona, and the Dogs, Clark Connors and David Finlay. And then in the main event, MJF managed to retain his hair and earn Darby Allin's title, beating Darby Allin in 24 minutes to become the new 3-time AEW World Champion, tying the record set by John Moxley, I believe. Really big show.
Under 30, too.
Under 30. Which couldn't be said for the Stadium Stampede match.
No, I'm saying, like, he's a 3-time champion before he turned 30.
Yeah. I think technically he already turned 30. Is that right? Didn't he turn 30 like a week ago or something?
I don't know.
But
that's just what they said on Dynamite. So I'm going with Dynamite.
Anyway.
I'm going with
Firstly, congratulations, Todd. You got 9 for 9. Well done, mate.
Yes.
Want to shout that out?
I'm just saying, like, you guys don't listen, bro.
Yeah, Todd. He knows his stuff. Maybe we should listen to him more often.
I thought I'd just get that out of the way. This was AEW's best show in years. Absolutely, it didn't feel
it was
overlong.
really good.
It was
just wall-to-wall action. Even the lesser matches, like that Swerve Strickland against Bandito match was fucking great. Just a wonderful match, top to bottom, a tremendous show.
Yeah,
you also forgot to mention the Kevin Knight turn at the very end of the show as well. That was insane.
That's very true. Yeah, and as a result, Jet Speed has broken up. So there you go. By the way, just in chat, Rosie calling out Todd for being So he had to throw that one back when we get the chance. Yeah, this was a banger of a card.
Can I ask though? Because like I saw a little bit of Dynamite. When did Speedball decide he was going to dress up like Carol Brady?
It was a karate outfit suit. Because he's a karate guy.
Suit.
It was fucking peach.
Yeah, it looked bad.
Wrestlers should be allowed to look bad.
I just looked at Max MJF's tweet from 4 days ago. There are 7 people throughout wrestling history that have been 3 times champion before the age of 30. Luthez, The Rock, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, John Cena, Shinsuke Nakamura, Kazuchika Okada, and now MJF joins that list.
Yeah, I always love that too when they say like I'm a 20 time. I love the thing with that. Everyone says like I'm a 20 times champion, but that means you lost it 19 times. You're great at getting it. You're not that good at holding on to it, though, are you, bro?
I don't know. It depends how long the career is. I mean, Ric Flair held it 20 times over 600 years. So, we can...
That's fair. But this was a really solid, possibly like one of the best AEW pay-per-views of all time. Like, really solid. The fact that it started out the way it did, I think I messaged the chat when I watched it going, how the fuck are they going to follow that? How are they going to follow that tag match? And then, like,
and as I told
and then they did, and you're like, shit.
As I said in the chat, but when it was with one of my favorite matches of the year, like, what a banger of a match Takeshita and Okada was.
Yeah, but when they brought it out with those two, I was just like, what are they doing? Don't put those guys after this. What are you doing? Pace your show.
They killed it.
Yeah. It was one of those cards where it just kept going like, how do you follow that? Oh, how do you follow that? Oh, how do you follow that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like just a really, like, it was, again, long fucking card. They're all long, but this one actually felt okay.
No Soul Rose liked the part with the boom. Couldn't agree more. No Soul Rose. Moving on outside of the. I
don't know why we don't just ban him. Like, seriously.
Because we all like Rose.
Who, Lachlan or Rosie or both?
Nikki Cross and Big Damo have purchased 6-7. Nikki Cross and Damo have purchased Progress and Defy Wrestling. So some big news there in terms of change of ownership.
Do you know what I found the funniest thing though in that is that somebody on fucking Twitter, a British wrestling fan, was just like, "Does anyone find this disturbing that they announced it as Damo and Nikki Cross buying it and not by their real names?" I'm like, dude, it's not that deep. Why are you overthinking this? They got their WWE money and said, hey, we're going to do something with this.
Yeah, and that's the names that people will know. Like, if you want to communicate the story, that's what the story is. The story is
very interesting, though. Very interesting to see what direction they take it, or if they keep it the same way, if they decide that they want to do creative, or if they just want to leave the same people in place. There's so many questions that come out of that, and like repercussions for British wrestling, because they are like arguably besides Rev Pro, two of the biggest promotions in England, and they've just brought both of them up.
This is Progress's third set of owners in about a decade. So
yeah, well, one of them sold because he got hired by WWE, didn't he? Like Jim.
Yeah, Jim Smallman. Jim Smallman sold. Jim sold because he got hired by WWE. Lovely guy, by the way, and he's really. And honestly,
why wouldn't you? Like, running a promotion is fucking like tireless, unthankful work.
Yep.
So Defy is in the US. Okay.
Yeah, they're Pacific Northwest. So I'm interested to see how they, because it's not like it's even an East Coast promotion where you could just fly people backwards and forwards between the two. It's like the other side of America versus England. So it's like, are they going to keep them separate? Are they going to do some crossover things? Particularly if there's a big show in April next year.
Yeah, definitely interesting.
It's also it's really interesting that it's specifically Defy, which makes it very, very interesting. I actually think that Nikki and Damo live in America now. Like, I think through the process of being with WWE for so long, particularly Nikki, and don't forget that Nikki Cross is a brilliantly educated woman. She's got a PhD now. So
she had time.
She wasn't doing much for years. No, actually, in that one, WWE gave her time. Like, she wanted to go and do it, so they gave her time and just let her wrestle whenever she wanted to.
I think Defy was like on the verge of completely shutting down, so I think that's made like they kind of saved it potentially.
Well, if that's the case, it's very good news. But yeah, It's not the only change in ownership that we've seen over the past week, because Bushiroad, which has owned New Japan Pro Wrestling since their purchase from Ukes in January of 2012, has transferred all of their NJPW shares to TV Asahi and Cyber Agent. TV Asahi has been the television partner for New Japan since 1973. Cyber Agent, on the other hand, is the owner of sister promotions DDT and Tokyo Joshi Pro, and have been since their acquisition of it in 2017. They also own Pro Wrestling Noah. They've owned that since 2020. This further consolidates the wrestling industry in Japan as Cyberfight gains more control across the scene. Stardom is not a part of the deal, however. Bushiroad is remaining its owner there. This comes just a few months after the New Japan Pro Wrestling Board agreed to transfer all of its Stardom shares to Bushiroad, which is very interesting. I said maybe Bushiroad, now that they don't have to deal with New Japan, can finally make a card game that doesn't huff farts. We can only hope. This comes along with some other news about New Japan Pro Wrestling, with NJPW World no longer streaming AEW. When the contract is up, my AEW will be the Japanese home of AEW. So expanding that international market there. Big changes for New Japan across the board there. Alex Fireheart says Cyber Agent owning Cyberfight, aka DDT, TJPW, and Noah was the main thing that pricked my ears up at that news. It'll be interesting to see if they keep everything very separate, or if that becomes more of a integrated set of properties.
Yeah, they have been doing some letting guys go backwards and forwards between Noah and New Japan of late, so I wonder if that just becomes a more open door policy.
It's interesting to me.
Were they always owned by the same sort of people, like Noah and New Japan, and this is just more of a formalization of it? No,
Noah and DDT, yes, but it's more. The Cyber Agent has owned those other companies, and TV Asahi has owned New Japan. So now TV Asahi didn't own New Japan. TV Asahi and Bushiroad. TV Asahi is staying on. Cyber Agent now becomes involved with New Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, Noah and New Japan have typically been like rival promotions, because I'm pretty sure Noah was a split off from New Japan.
So somewhere Naito's going, what the fuck have I done?
he did tweet out that I'll be back in New Japan soon.
Noah was specifically started by the name is Masawa of the Four Pillars. Noah split off from All Japan, says Alex Fireheart. Trying to get all the names lined up.
And excuse me for possibly asking dumb questions. So will this mean a cash injection into New Japan, where they'll be able to retain the guys now instead of like constantly losing to an AEW? Or will it be business as usual, just different name?
It's difficult to say, right? So specifically what's happened here is there's been a bunch of money moved from TV Asahi and Cyber Agent to Bushiroad, right? So the new owners now don't have that money they had, but they now have New Japan. They might want to invest a big lump sum of money into New Japan as the new owners to make their new property look good. They may also have just spent a lot of money acquiring New Japan and want it to keep running as usual, or on
to make that money back. Yeah,
to make that money back. At this stage, it's kind of impossible to say because that's going to be a business decision on their part. But also, it might be the case that it's running very independently, and whoever's owning it on the outside is just like making outside deals around where it broadcasts and stuff. So it's hard to know how much it's going to affect it. It's hard to know whether there's going to be positive or negative or both implications from this. I do think it's interesting that when you look at the cyber fight kind of group, you've got TJPW is their women's company. Noah and DDT have quite different styles. New Japan is quite similar to Noah in style, right? Alex Fireheart says maybe the cinematography will get better in New Japan. Noah's production has been better than theirs for a while, despite being on a lower rung on the ladder. I think it's going to be really interesting to see going forward, but it's kind of hard to make any solid calls right now on what will happen. What we can
I would think the biggest changes will be sort of back office stuff with marketing people, PR people. They'll probably just kind of merge the Noah and New Japan sections of those offices into one big agency. So there'll probably be layoffs in that area. I think the actual shows will be kind of business as usual.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is going to be, I think, less prominent than WWE being sold to TKO, because that was going from independent to under new ownership, whereas this is, they had one set of owners, now they've got a new set of owners. A lot of that organizational stuff will likely stay the same. Yeah, hard to know whether this is really good news, really bad news, really nothing news, but that's kind of the long-term job that we're going to try to do. And we're fairly good at sorting out what we think is good and what we think is bad.
Before you do that, we'll just do a quick updated Super Juniors standings.
Yeah, so
we've been going through this.
Let's do that. Currently in Block A, did you have them that you wanted to read off, Todd? Or are you happy?
I have them from like 15 hours ago, so I don't know if there was a show tonight that we're missing or...
Fire away.
No, there was a show yesterday.
I know.
So
This is updated from that. Okay, so Block A at the moment, Titan is on top with 10 points, 5-1 record. Master Wato is on 8. Francisco Akira is on 8, or whatever. Jun Kasai is on 8. Nick Wayne is on 6. Taguchi on 6. Robbie X on 6. Fujita on 6. Valiente Jr. on 4. And Daiki Nagai yet to score a point. In Block B, Despi is on 8. Sho is on 8. Kanamura is on 6. Sasuke is on 6. Yo is on 6. Robbie Eagles is on 6. Ishimori is on 6. Hio is 4. Kushida is on 4 points. Jacob Austin Young is on 4 points.
It's worth noting that for the majority of these competitors, there are 3 matches left in each of their tournaments. So a potential 6 more points on the line. So when Titan's looking very strong on 10, but considering that other than Valiente Jr., every other person is on 6 or more in Block A, it could still be pretty much anyone's game. Or Daiki Nagai, of course, who is on 0. Meanwhile, on Block B, where your top scorer is on 8 and your bottom scorer is on 4, and there's another 6 points that could be coming down the line, anyone's game is an understatement, right? These last 3 matches for all the competitors are going to be the deciders.
There's back-to-back shows next, I think, Wednesday, Thursday. That'll kind of be the conclusion.
Yeah.
So,
and there was a show this week at the KBS Hall in Japan. The one with the stained glass window.
Yep.
Oh my god, that's such a cool venue.
Oh, it's so cool. It's worth noting that we're all pretty similarly placed in terms of predictions at the moment. The only little pull ahead, I think, is that, with Block A being so close, other than Titan, the Akira being on 6 and all of us having picked, Todd picked Akira, who is on 8, and the rest of us picked Kosei Fujita, who's on 6. That's the real splitting point there. But we're going to see how that goes going forward. And it's been a really good tournament so far. It's been really exciting. You might even call it chicken salad, because that's what we talk about. We talk about our chicken shit. We talk about our chicken salad. And that means it's time.
This chicken salad really is the bomb.
Oh, no, we normally do our bad stuff first, don't we?
Yeah, we do our bad
We get the bad stuff out of the way. We're going to start by talking about our... Get this.
You're a chicken shit. You think you're funny, cracking jokes? I'm chicken shit. Yeah.
Jamie, what is your chicken shit for this week?
Too much AEW.
Yeah.
We've had multiple three-hour dynamites in a row. We had a 4.5-hour pay-per-view excluding the pre-show. And then even this weekend, we get another 2 hours of Collision. that's a lot of Dynamite in a week. And
It's a lot.
on that, the booking of the women in those 10 plus hours of AEW has been atrocious. The 3-hour Dynamite that we had today had no women on the show until 2 hours and 59 minutes into the show. There was one match before that was a 1 minute 10 second squash match. And then the women's not even the world title, the Philly street fight started after the show should have been finished.
Goodness gracious!
Yeah, that's right. I remember being, because like on Thursdays I keep popping into his stream during my work day. So basically, the show started probably about a half an hour before I had my first smoko. So I had my first smoko, and then I had lunch, and I was able to talk to him in both of those breaks.
They were still going.
They were still going.
There was
Yikes.
In that 3 hours. There was also no update on the TBS title situation. No women's Owen matches. The AEW Women's World Champion was not on TV at all, and hasn't had a live microphone on TV for 6 weeks, even though that's like one of her strongest points.
She keeps saying bitch. That could be why.
And then, yeah, like I said, the main event, which was a women's match, started in the overrun of the show at, it would have been past 11 p.m. in the States on a Wednesday night. It's like, you can't say the women rate poorly and then put them on at those hours and expect them to get good ratings.
Yeah, you got to give them a chance to rate.
Yeah,
You can
exactly.
say.
That's annoying.
Too much. Jeff, chicken shit for the week.
It's actually possibly something that I'm alone in feeling this, but I'm increasingly just unfussed entirely about WWE's product. There's very few spots where I'm going, oh, wow, that should be cool. Yeah, sure, look, Fatu against Roman's a bit of an exception to that, but most of the interesting characters are not featuring as much. Drew McIntyre's been gone for pretty much 3 months, and I'm feeling like there's a malaise and a disinterest there. 2 to 3 months he's been gone for. He hasn't been back since Mania.
Mania was in April, so it's a month.
Yeah, true. Beginning of
Month and a
April.
half.
Yeah. Sami Zayn, I don't.
By that fact, so is CM Punk.
Yeah, Punk's gone. Zayn's kind of obviously, there's injuries, and you accept that because I'm a big Kevin Owens guy, and not having Kev around is kind of making me go, yeah. And then there's the injuries are piling up because the guys aren't getting the runs on the road to avoid injury, so they're having to reintroduce more house shows, and it just seems to be a bit of a vicious circle at the moment. I'm just feeling uninspired by it. I didn't even watch Saturday night's main event or SmackDown. I was like, yeah, I could, or I could save my steam for the AEW show, and I think I picked the right way.
Where it's needed, yeah. Todd, chicken shit for the week.
Yeah, but before I do that, the funny thing is, right, it feels like AEW are giving us too much wrestling, and WWE aren't giving us enough at the moment.
No.
Which is really weird. My chicken shit is the Saturday night's main event. Like, I understand, like, you know how long you're going to give matches. So if you knew you were going to give Becky Lynch and Sol Ruka 3 minutes, you could have put another match on that show.
Yep.
Like, easily. Because then that makes it, there was 4 matches on that show. 4 real matches on that show. And then, like, I wouldn't even call that a match. I'd call that an angle. Because that's basically what it was.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and while it being cool that it was like, there was 5 matches and 3 of those matches were women's matches. That's cool. But just, like, if you're going to do that, then, like, you could have put another match on there and given it a little bit of time. Like, even if you'd put another match on there for 5 minutes, I don't think that hurts anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I fully agree. We've got a couple of chicken shits in the chat. Bloody DJ said Tony Storm didn't bite anyone anywhere. What has AEW become? And Macho Man Andy Savage mentions chicken shit. Why, Kyle? Why? We're going to talk more about that in a moment, I assume.
I kind of feel like Kyle's turn. It's not really a turn. He was always a heel. I don't understand why they turned Jet.
Because Swerve got in his head.
Oh, is that what it is? But besides that, though, but why?
Because we need more people in the family.
No, but like...
He's not, though. He's separate. It's because he...
Yeah, but
he was told if you want to walk with killers, you have to be a killer. And he lost his chance because he was trying to be nice.
I get that, right? But they just crowned MJF as the world champion, so that's a heel.
Yeah, you don't need another heel.
You don't need another heel. That's what I don't get. It's more of a balance thing than anything else. Like, you don't need another heel. He could have been a babyface chasing that, and it would have been just as good.
Yep.
I suspect it was more to get the Jet versus Speedball.
Speedball? Okay.
I'd also like to mention how impressive it is of me not to choose fucking Brie Bella and Paige again. Like, how inspiring.
Well, you didn't watch the show, so how could you?
My chicken shit is that with WWE already having so many terrible theme songs that just do no good for anyone, then they go and make Ethan Page's theme worse. That's ridiculous. I can't believe that they did that. It feels like a little thing, but it just sticks out so strongly that they actively gave it a downgrade. I couldn't believe it. Just bad decision making there. Absolute chicken shit in my eyes. But let's turn it around and talk about something.
This chicken salad really is the bomb.
Let's hear it from you, Jamie. Chicken salad.
Just that overall Double or Nothing card, top to bottom, absolute banger. Loved every moment of it. We were on stream for 4.5 hours. It did not feel like we were on stream for 4.5 hours compared to the previous pay-per-view, which felt like it was going really long. This one was like over and we're like, oh, okay, it's done.
Yeah, it's great when wrestling feels like that. Macho Man Andy Savage says, random, but I was going to use the break to thank the four of you for doing this show every week. The routine is very comforting. This popped up while, the ads were coming through, and wanted to say it's really nice to, have that positive feedback. It's really lovely. It's going to be part of my cooking kit there. Jeff, fire away with a chicken salad. Sorry, I just called that a chicken shit. I am really losing. It's amateur hour over here tonight. My goodness, chicken salad. Jeez. Jeff,
okay, I'm just going to mention this. Andy's mentioned that he's lost his dog. I'm sorry if I misgendered you there, Andy. Their dog Pixie was sweet, nurturing, and non-judgmental. She died today, and I wanted my wrestling community to know that she was the best dog that ever was. I'll miss her terribly, but they had almost 16 incredible years. Smile that it happened. Don't cry that it's over, Andy. I'm truly
big
sorry.
Big shout out to Pixie. That's devastating to hear, and glad to hear that you had so long with a great pet.
Yeah, you are a little bit underwater at the moment, Lachlan. So while I'm doing my chicken salad, maybe you want to fix that. I agree with Jamie. Absolutely agree. Double or Nothing was a terrific card. As I said, even the less rated matches, like the ones that you weren't as excited for, like Strickland against Bandito, just terrific. I also want to thank every person, and a lot of people came up to me on Saturday and said they're really enjoying the show and they're loving the work we're doing and they think that the show's great. And
not Ben Barnett.
It just makes it worthwhile. Sorry.
He's fine with the show, just not you.
He said the show's great.
He said the show's great. He just didn't like you.
No, but seriously, it validates what we do here, and thank you all so much. Also, fucking ATO against the Water Rapids. Like, come on. What else is my chicken salad going to be? I got to watch that match in person and still watched it on video. That's how good it was. I was just like, I want to watch this again and relive every moment of it. And heck, I might just go and watch it again. We know that the people behind MCW listen occasionally. Please bring them back. Please. That was wonderful.
Yeah, really good stuff. Alex Fireheart's chicken salad. The storytelling of Darby's reign was very solid. As much as some people I know hated that MJF won, the storytelling made sense. It was very consistent with everything that went on in Darby's reign. Brief as it was, probably the best babyface title reign they've ever had, or had in a good while. Hard to disagree with Alex. Todd, chicken salad.
I got a couple. One is I'm just a real sucker for that. The Samoan history and the heritage thing. The way that they ended that Raw with the two of them shaking hands and doing the forehead touch thing. I'm just like, I love the fact that okay, we've signed these things. We're going to beat the ever-loving shit out of each other in a couple of days, but we're still family. So until that war, here's my, you know what I mean? I love that shit. Just something about it makes me just go, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Which makes it makes me want to watch that show just for that match to see what happens. I think it's great. My other one is, you know me, I'm a sucker for gimmicks. I love a good a good T-shirt gimmick, and I think Orange Cassidy has probably come up with the best one I have seen in a long time. I'm just going to play you. I saw it today on Insta, but I saw it on the show. But it's so good. Just check this out.
I'm freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. This is my new shirt. You can get it on the internet. Get it?
So for anyone listening to the audio version of the podcast, it is a shirt that comes in a bundle with a pair of sunglasses, and the shirt has Orange Cassidy's head sideways right below the collar of the shirt, so that if you put your sunglasses, if you hang them over the collar of your shirt, Orange Cassidy's face on your shirt is wearing the sunglasses. It's brilliant. It's genius.
I think it was a Double or Nothing. I can't remember if it was Double or Nothing or maybe even Dynamite today. He had his sunglasses on. He took them off. He put them there, and then he pulled out another pair of sunglasses. That popped me so huge. It made me go, you know what? I want one of those T-shirts.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. My chicken salad, and I'm shocked that no one else said it specifically, so I actually get to have this one. Man, it's good to see Kyle Fletcher back, huh? What an absolute dude. He was at the top of his game when he had to disappear, and the fact that he has come in high profile, we're going to get Takeshita versus Fletcher. I want that so badly. It's going to be really, really good. He is, I love seeing Kyle Fletcher on my screen. He is, I think, going to be one of those people who in 10 years, 20 years, we talk about as one of the greats. And he's just nailing it. I love seeing Kyle Fletcher on my screen. I love seeing Aussies on my screen in general. And
the thing I love the most about that Kyle Fletcher thing?
Go on.
Is he actually shaved all the hair that he grew off in the break.
Mm-hmm.
Because
with the beard, it was weird.
I didn't recognize him.
He's not a hair guy.
I did not recognize him. When you put that photo in our chat, I'm like, why? Who is this?
Who is this nerd?
Why are you putting this photo in the chat? For a second, I thought you'd put it in the wrong chat.
Nope.
But then I saw the actual post. And I'm like, oh my god, that's him.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre because I remember him shaving it off and being like, he looks so weird bald. And now it's the only way I can picture it.
Yep.
Not like his tag partner.
Not like his tag partner.
The opposite way.
Alex Fireheart says, given the tease on the pay-per-view, maybe Takeshita, Okada, Fletcher possibly, which would also be good if they go that route. Yeah, also, I'm not going to argue against that.
That's an all-in match there.
Shout out to Mark Davis, who's almost looking skinny.
He looks great.
Like, he is getting himself in some fucking great shape.
And his other tag partner returned today too.
Yeah, I was going to say a spoiler here, but Jake something came back this afternoon, which is...
Yeah. What's his name now? It's not Jake something. It's
Jake Doyle.
Jake
Doyle, that's right.
Jake Doyle, thank you. Sorry,
I got to mix up with Pierre Bronson for a second there. It's just too much. There's too many great wrestlers that we're trying to keep track of, especially here in Australia. And we get to do it here every week at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time at twitch.tv/WrestleRadio Australia. So if you're not subscribed and following along, why not? You get to be like No Soul Rose, who says, hey guys, great show. Did you know that ants cannot take fall damage? If you drop an ant from an airplane or a skyscraper, it'll simply land and walk away completely unharmed, like Darby Allin. Great insight, Rose. Thank you for that. Make sure you're following us. I mean,
I don't know. Right? Go and get an ant and test it.
Yeah.
What could an ant's terminal velocity possibly be? If you haven't already, please subscribe to Wrestle Radio Australia. It's free. It really helps us out. You can do it on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Twitch, Podcast Addict, anywhere you get your podcasts. If you're on Apple Podcasts, if you can give us a 5-star review, it really helps us get into more ears. It is genuinely really important for podcasts. It makes a massive difference. If you want our merch, head over to redbubble.com, search for Wrestle Radio Australia. You'll find the merch there just in that search, and the proceeds don't go to us. They go to Beyond Blue and Gotcha for Life, which are amazing charities that support mental health here in Australia.
I don't know why I keep doing this.
No Soul Rose says it's real because of their incredibly low mass and high surface area to weight ratio. Their terminal velocity is too slow to cause any harm. I nailed it with the terminal velocity call. That's so
Thank
good.
you for the physics lesson, No Soul Rose.
Yeah, that's right. And it turns
both
out...
of you.
I've got another physics lesson for you. It's that if you exchange money for products, they can be shipped to your house. That's with, force and velocity and matrices and all of that stuff. Get some shirts from kickout.com.au. They got merch of your favorite wrestlers from around the country, Queensland especially. If you're a wrestler and you want your merch on Kickout, message them on Instagram. But if you just want a nice shirt, go to kickout.com.au to get amongst that. And you can get amongst our social media. We're at WrestleRadioAU on Twitter and Instagram, Wrestle Radio Australia on Facebook, twitch.tv/Wrestle Radio Australia here on Twitch. We've got personal ones as well. I'm at Lachlan Albert. Todd is at Beast Eastman. Jamie is at Jamie Apps Media. Jeff has the handle at Wrestle_Brainia. Why should people follow that, Jeff?
Because we're going to be coming back soon-ish enough. You'll find out soon. It's going to be exciting. Also, just remember, earlier on tonight, we did have a look at MCW High Stakes. Check that out for free on YouTube, and PWA is on tomorrow night. No Soul Rose is at Beast Eastman. I think that's copyright infringement, Rosie.
Gimmick infringement, at least. If we're following other projects, Jamie has about 40 of them, right?
It seems that way.
Only 3, but that's okay.
List them off.
So Australian Wrestling Cards, they are shipping tomorrow if you want some for the June pack. Movie reviews, I have Backrooms is dropping tomorrow. Scary Movie 2 rewatch drops next week on the podcast, followed by Scary Movie 6 next Friday. And then, watch parties. Come and watch way too much Dynamite with me every week on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Put
it on as a side. Put it on as a side quest. Like watch it.
At least make sure you have the show on, because we're not going to help you with that.
Yeah, you really won't. Because I thought, I'll be able to keep a track of what's going on Dynamite, but then also support Jamie. I had no idea what was going on fucking Dynamite. To the point where something happened, and one of the guys, I can't remember which one of you, was like, "What's he doing there? Why's he going in?" And I'm like, "Who the fuck is he? Who are you talking about?"
So as Jeff mentioned before, you can watch the show we watched tonight, which was an absolute banger, MCW High Stakes 2026 for free on YouTube. That's also where you can watch tomorrow night live PWA Dropped Out. And then you can come back over here to Twitch for the post-show Friday night with Todd. That's going to be immediately after the PWA show.
About 10-15 minutes. Give it a bit of a cool down.
Soon after. He's got to go to the toilet and stuff, folks. Just calm down.
I got to fire up the old YouTubes.
That's right. Is there anything else that you're going to shout out, Todd?
Yeah. Well, no, it was the fact that I could have just done what our watch-alongs that we normally do, but I was like, why am I going to try and compete with PWA? Kind of defeats the purpose of what the channel's about. So, and last week's was actually really fun because we watched some old wrestling from around the country, old wrestling from like 2008, 2000, and one of them was like, it was a 2011 Riot City Wrestling match. It was like the Rude Ones versus the Armstrongs, and a very young, like Rhea Ripley was sitting in the front row, and to the point where like there was an actual shot of her like heckling El Presidente, who was one of the manager at the time there. So just like real funny stuff, and it's stuff like seeing Luke Watts not looking like Luke Watts at all against Chris Basso, who didn't look like Chris Basso at all. So just some really cool stuff, and we've got some great stuff coming up on like the watch-alongs. We've got the last the last WWA show coming up, the pay-per-view. Then after that, we're going to watch the Rodman one. But then after that, No Soul Rose, easy for me to say. I guess he's my co-host now on these things. He's actually got us the first premiership, the PWA premiership. That was pretty much, because it was all done in COVID and all sort of stuff, kind of lost to the annals of time. So he's gotten that for us. So we're going to watch through those. We'll probably end up watching like 2 episodes a shot, because they're like an hour-long episodes. So we'll probably end up watching 2 episodes a shot along the way. So we're going to go through the first ever Coliseum, first ever premiership, PWA premiership, which is going to be really interesting to watch. Because a lot of that stuff, like I said,
they were on that weird streaming service.
OVO.
Yeah, well, that was the
OVO Play.
Yeah, that was the discussion like Rose and I had, because it was like, when I was looking for stuff to watch for this like watch along, like not a lot of PWA stuff. Then I've realized like a lot of that stuff is just not anywhere anymore.
Yeah, it's on OVO.
And he was like, well, if there's stuff you want, I might be able to source it for you, because I kind of know people in PWA. So luckily he's been able to source us the premiership. So that's what we'll be watching after WWA.
That's excellent. And by the way, if you want to catch up on like one of those previous watch-alongs, I know that you can catch something within a period of time. So if you go right now to twitch.tv/WrestleRadio Australia, you can watch Todd's Friday night stream from last week and see those classic Aussie matches that he watched. You can do that right now. Or you can do it live with him and be part of the conversation. That's the way to do it. And you get to do like the people in the chat, like Macho Man Andy Savage, Alex Fireheart, No Soul Rose, Bloody DJ. Like they all get to be here having a chat with us every Thursday night. And we love having them.
They're also up on our YouTube channel as well. So you can watch them through that.
Very watchable. Jeff, Jamie, is there anything else that we need to promote before we head off?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate again to Andy that I think we did this one for Pixie. I think we can say this was in tribute to Pixie, and she was a lucky dog to have you as your owner.
Yeah, absolutely. No Soul Rose says that he also gives fun facts about Nickelback. So
they're about really Nickelback. Cool. They're not fun, Rosie. They're not fun.
They are fun when I can actually see like you walk straight into it, Jeff. That was actually fun. I saw you walking straight. I'm like, don't encourage, like don't engage. If you don't engage, he won't talk about it. And you're like, oh, what was it? I'm like, you engaged.
You didn't tell me
I would
that.
like less Nickelback facts, more Ant facts, please.
I like that.
More Ant facts.
Jamie, anything else to shout out?
No, not for me. Just come watch wrestling with me.
Fun fact, that first Nickelback album's actually a banger. So, this has been Making Chicken
Salad. Watch wrestling aside you. Because you don't watch wrestling with you. You watch it aside you.
No wonder Victoria hates you. Keep going.
Look, as long as Rod Long's okay with me, I'll be fine. So, on behalf of Todd Eastman and Jeff Setti and Jamie Apps, I've been Lachlan Albert. Till next time, have a good one.
Peace.
Nickelfax is a great shout.
Trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it was just awful.
I've turned chicken salad into chicken shit. I will continue to do so.
Making chicken salad out of chicken shit.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as